Live from WOWT, this is a First Alert 6 Weather Day.
And good evening, Nick Weig here with you, as I just realized I have the wrong earpiece in. We are coming on the air here for some strong storms that have been firing up across the area this evening. We've been monitoring the potential for severe weather across parts of the First Alert 6 area this evening. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect right now, but that does not include the Omaha metro area. The main focus is for the areas of our viewing area in northeast Nebraska, in central Nebraska, and that is where we are beginning to get some new development this evening that is producing some strong to severe thunderstorms. So let's go ahead and take you out to live First Alert radar, and we'll go ahead and get the warnings there now on the screen. There you see a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Greeley, Howard, and Nance County. This will be in effect until 10 o'clock this evening. This is as part of a very scattered line of showers and thunderstorms that have been trying to get going here over the last several hours. You can kind of see we had some storms along the I-80 corridor earlier this evening west of Grand Island, and then now those have kind of fizzled out, and as the sun is set, we're seeing a new complex develop just west of the First Alert 6 area, but we want to go ahead and monitor these because they could impact some portions of our area, including Columbus and Norfolk, as we continue through the evening. There's a closer look at that severe thunderstorm warning that's now in effect. We do have a bit of an offshoot of that warning, as this is crossing in between Weather Service coverage areas in the area, and so we now have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been put into effect for Boone County, including the communities of Cedar Rapids and Primrose, until 10 o'clock this evening as well. So really it's just kind of one all-encompassing warning here. We just have the two warning boxes because this happens to be in between a couple of Weather Service coverage areas. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the Weather Service's main concern is with this. Right now, the primary concern is some brief gusty winds upwards of 60 miles per hour and the potential of some rather large hail upwards of ping pong ball size, or about 1.5 inches in diameter. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the radar is detecting so far as hail is concerned in this. There we go. And not, well, there you go. Now getting an indication of a pretty tight hail core just west of Walbach, and now approaching 1.7 inches in diameter. Now, again, we want to stress that that is what the radar is detecting aloft. That does not mean that that large hail is reaching the ground, but the radar is detecting hailstones several thousand feet in the air that could be approaching 1.7 inches in diameter. So let's zoom in a little closer on this area so you can get an idea of the areas impacted. There you see Brayton right in line for this hail core, likely over the Highway 281 corridor right now. And again, this appears to be the primary threat, is this large hail core. Now, as we've talked about in events past, we see these hail cores strengthen and then weaken and then strengthen and then weaken. And it's when they weaken that we're concerned that those larger hailstones have come down into the ground have come down to the surface, not because the storm itself is weakened, but because the larger stones have finally fallen through the storm and onto the surface. So this Highway 281 corridor right here is the primary area of concern right now. That is the lone severe thunderstorm warning. You'll also notice several storm reports on the upper portion of your screen. We've received about a dozen wind and hail reports in far northeastern Nebraska from a line of showers and thunderstorms that moved through late this afternoon and early this evening. Some pretty large hailstones reported, as well as some brief gusty winds topping the 60 mile per hour mark. Now, there is still an isolated potential for a tornado tonight, but right now it appears the primary threat is going to be for large hail and strong damaging winds. Let's go ahead and back out here. You can see the area under that severe thunderstorm watch until midnight this evening. You can also see the last hour, how things have kind of shifted from the I-80 corridor further to the north, where we have this new complex of showers and thunderstorms, largely staying away from the First Alert 6 viewing area, but we want to keep an eye on that northwestern part of our viewing area, which remains under this severe thunderstorm watch until midnight this evening. Here's another look at that watch. Again, you see the counties there shaded in yellow. Again, this does not include the Omaha metro area. We don't expect any severe thunderstorms to be impacting the metro area tonight. This is largely going to be for that area you see shaded in yellow, stretching from south central Nebraska all the way up to northeastern Nebraska, northwest Iowa, southeast South Dakota. This is all part of a large complex of thunderstorms that has produced a significant severe weather outbreak in portions of Canada, North Dakota, and Minnesota this this evening, and that is ongoing. We're kind of on the southwestern side of this, and that is the pattern that unfortunately we expect to continue for the next several days as we're battling this dome of hot weather that is just kind of parked over the upper Midwest this week, and kind of on the outer edge of that high pressure is where we get that ring of fire and where we see these thunderstorms, sometimes severe, tend to fire up after sunset, and that is what we're seeing right now over portions of central Nebraska. If we look further west, you see we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. We'll go ahead and get that information if you know anybody out in that area. This is well northwest of Grand Island, moving to the northeast. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Sherman and Valley counties until 10:15 this evening. Also for the potential of 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-inch diameter hail. These storms are moving, by the way, to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So for the time being, a little bit slow, and that would certainly be indicative of storms capable of producing large hail. So those are the two severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now. We're going to continue to monitor this situation. We'll also be scrolling the latest information at the bottom of your screen with all the latest warnings. And then on the top part of your screen, we're also scrolling all of the latest storm reports over the last 3 hours with a full 24-hour count there in the upper left portion of the screen. We do not have any cameras in this area. We have been keeping an eye. This is well west of the Columbus area. That's about the closest camera we have, and as you can see, this is along Highway 81 near Columbus this evening. Not really much to see this far out from the thunderstorm, as the camera does occasionally kind of reset and reposition itself to scan the area intersections. But again, this is about 5 miles north of Columbus along Highway 81, still well east of where the severe thunderstorms are right now. This is an area that does remain under a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight this evening. All right, let's go back now live to First Alert Radar. There you see our two warnings now in effect west of the First Alert 6 viewing area. Just for reference here, there you see Columbus and Humphrey, Highway 81, where we were right where that icon is about where that camera is located that we were showing you. And still a good 30 to 40 miles east of where these thunderstorms have begun to intensify. We're also keeping an eye on the potential for an isolated tornado risk. I think if that was going to happen, it would have to happen relatively soon during the initial development of this. I don't think it's a very strong risk. We're not really seeing any indications of significant wind in these storms, but just something that we're going to be monitoring. There's a lot of instability in the atmosphere, and the primary concern is going to be for large hail. There you see that developing hail core on our new severe thunderstorm warned cell. And then I do want to zoom in again along Highway 281 where we have this pretty potent hail core. It looks like it has weakened a little bit. That could be a sign that some of those stones have fallen, unfortunately, in that corridor, but still 1.4-inch diameter hail being detected aloft. And so the possibility of 1-inch diameter hail falling anywhere between Brayton and Woolbach right now certainly considerable, as this severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect until 10 o'clock this evening. As we back out the radar here and show you the warnings that have now been put into effect, as well as that watch, you can see just kind of scattered nature and rapid development over the last 20 minutes or so as these storms have gotten going. We're also keeping an eye on the National Weather Service in Omaha just to get an update. They are just on the fringe of this for their coverage area, but they do expect the area of showers and thunderstorms to continue to expand over the next couple of hours. But the good news is once these move out, we should be done for the evening in terms of the severe weather threat, and hopefully that will all wrap up before the midnight hour. That is when the severe thunderstorm watch currently is scheduled to expire. All right, let's go back now to live radar here and to get an updated look at those storms. You can also see where we had the severe weather earlier this evening in northeast Nebraska. That complex of storms now impacting northwest Iowa, strong to severe at times. Right now, no warnings in effect for that. Our primary concern is with these storms just to the west of the First Alert 6 viewing area. Again, these are moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour at this time. We do not believe that there is any concern for severe weather in the Omaha metro area. This is going to be a very southwest to northeast corridor across central and northeastern Nebraska where this severe weather threat exists. And so as a result, we do not expect any severe weather for the Omaha metro area. There could still be the potential for a shower or thunderstorm in the metro area, especially as we move through the early morning hours. But again, the severe threat exceedingly low. The metro area not under any form of severe thunderstorm watch or any significant risk for severe weather. The area that we're keeping an eye on, the areas north and west of our viewing area, as well as portions of our viewing area, are under an enhanced risk for severe weather as we move through the evening and overnight hours. The hope is that threat will very quickly begin to subside once we approach or we get closer to the midnight hour tonight, and that this will not be a long duration event as these storms are just kind of firing up rather quickly as we've passed sunset, and hopefully these will be more of a pulse situation and just be more of a widespread shower and thunderstorm producer rather than a producer of any severe weather or damage like what we've seen in northeast Nebraska earlier this evening. Again, we are getting close to the 10 o'clock hour. The Severe Thunderstorm Watch had been issued a couple of hours ago. Development was trying to get going, especially in the Grand Island area earlier tonight. That quickly fizzled out. And then this new complex of showers and thunderstorms began to set up shop just within the last 30 minutes or so. We're going to just kind of rock the radar back here, and you can kind of see the general motion and not an organized complex, I would say, but certainly a lot of instability out there, certainly capable of producing some large hailstones. And right now that appears to be the primary threat that we're dealing with tonight. We'll go ahead and zoom in on this area a little bit tighter. You can kind of see the areas impacted here. I just want to take another look at some of the velocities and just not really getting any indication of any concerning reports. If we go back to live radar, you can kind of see perhaps on the southwest portion of this storm. I'll go ahead and draw this here for you. Somewhere in this area we could see some stronger wind gusts approaching 50 to 60 miles per hour, but no clear signs of any rotation. And again, the tornado threat right now is very low. The primary threat with these storms appears to be those large hail cores. We've seen this very potent hail core southeast of Greeley, now northeast of Highway 281, weaken considerably. That could be a sign that it did produce some large hail. We'll have to see if it continues to weaken or if it will kind of recycle and begin producing large hail again. And then further to the west, between Algernon and Elba, we now have a growing hail core now up to 1.5 inches in diameter. We'll go ahead and zoom in on that to get a better look at the location of that, because that is right on the intersection of a number of highways. There you see by Loup City, Highway 58 and 92 and 10, kind of a tri-intersection there you see. I'm going to double check. I don't believe we have a camera in that area, but we'll go ahead and double check here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom this out and see if we can't find a camera in this area. No, not seeing any clear signs of any cameras in that area. No, unfortunately, there's no cameras in that area. We're going to take a look and see if we've got one anywhere near our easternmost storm here. Let's switch back here to the loop real quickly. We do have a camera up in the Cedar Rapids area, and see if that one is up and running. I don't think it's got the greatest view, but it looks like there is some lightning in that area right now. Yeah, it doesn't look like the camera wants to cooperate right now because it's not coming up for us. All right, we're going to come back in on this. This is where we did see a much more potent hail core earlier. but not really seeing anything along those lines now. We'll have to see if that hail core decides to regenerate. But we are getting a lot of intensification on our westernmost storm now. And just want to kind of take a look at just kind of the evolution of these as you see them kind of quickly develop a hail core right over Highway 281 between Greeley and Cushing. That has weakened a little bit, but that storm remains rather strong. And then we're seeing a lot of intensification in our western severe thunderstorm warned storms. So we're going to take a closer look at that because I imagine there's a pretty decent hail core in there. We were kind of keeping an eye on the winds there. Maybe some indication of could be some inflow winds, but nothing that would indicate any concerning rotation. But could be some strong wind gusts, especially on the southeastern side of this storm. But the primary threat right now appears to be the potential for large hail, as that hail core now still sitting at about 1.4 inches in diameter. That's the radar detecting hailstones aloft. Those size of stones are not necessarily hitting the ground, but certainly a concern for anybody in this area, as you have a lot of highways in that area at this time. We're also keeping an eye on the Cedar Rapids area, which is just east of our other severe thunderstorm warned storm, and we're trying to get a camera up along Highway 56. And let's see if we can get it up. I believe it's in night vision mode and it's on pretty tight, but we have been seeing some lightning flashes in it there occasionally. And otherwise just kind of standing by to see if we're going to see any potentially severe weather with this. Again, this is Highway 56 near the Cedar Rapids area. They're kind of on the eastern side. Rain should just be getting started shortly in that area of Cedar Rapids and Primrose, north of Timber Creek. That is where a formerly potent hail core is now moving and beginning to regenerate a little bit. So there is a concern that we could see some larger hail in the vicinity of Highway 56, Highway 52 as well, in and around the Cedar Rapids area here in Nebraska. So just keeping an eye on this camera. Other than seeing maybe some flashes of lightning, can't really make much out. I believe it's in night vision mode right now, and unfortunately pretty tight on the roadway, but if we'll see if it actually holds this image. But generally these cameras will move around occasionally and then kind of go back to what they were looking at. But you could see some of the flashes of lightning there as this storm is approaching the Cedar Rapids area of Nebraska, and as the lightning keeps causing the camera to kind of bounce between daytime and nighttime vision, and there you see it's back towards the roadway. We're going to keep an eye on this as the storm approaches this area over the next 30 minutes or so, because at least the one advantage of this image is if there is hail that ultimately falls in this area, we would certainly have a good vantage point on it, but right now not exactly doing us a lot of good. So we're going to go ahead and go back to live first alert radar right now and get an update on these storms. Right now the National Weather Service not really saying much. Looks like may have provided an update on that warning. Let me zoom out here real quick. Looks like they may have provided an update. We'll go ahead and no, this was just the warning from earlier. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Boone County until 10 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm located 3 miles north of Walbach or 26 miles southwest of Albion, moving to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. Ping pong ball-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are the primary threat. We're keeping an eye on our velocity scans, not really seeing much in the way of anything too concerning in this area. It is kind of in between radar beams. We're going to try and switch around and see what we can find. Could be some stronger wind gusts over 50 miles an hour, but really far out for the radar beam to detect much of anything. And so we're just going to have to keep a close eye on that. However, if we go back to the hail detection, we are seeing some growing signs again of that hail core beginning to take better shape now. And actually, that hail core still remains just right over the Walbach area right now on the very southern portion. That may be an old scan actually, so that is probably a slightly dated scan. The main hail core is likely in this area right now, approaching the Cedar Rapids area. We're going to continue to keep an eye. We do have a DOT camera in that area. Unfortunately, it is set to be zoomed in on the roadway. If we do get some hail in that area, though, we would get a good look at it from that vantage point. You can see the lightning and the rain now falling. Again, this is Highway 56 near Cedar Rapids in Boone County, Nebraska, as the rain is now falling there and getting some more vivid lightning and possibly a hail core approaching this area. So again, we're going to keep an eye on this camera, because if we do see any stones falling, at least that's the one advantage is we can't really see much of what's going on in terms of the skies, but we can certainly see a good shot of the roadway if we happen to see any hail falling in that area. All right, let's come back out live now to First Alert Radar. This is the area that we're keeping an eye on for possible hail development, as the hail core is now kind of reorganizing itself in this area. We'll see if we got an updated scan, and I still think that is an old scan, but certainly a little bit more potent than what we saw just about 10 minutes ago. Now back above severe limits according to the radar. We're also watching further to the southwest here around the Loup City area, highways 58 and 92, a couple of hail cores really taking shape. This one that's actually under a severe thunderstorm warning, very potent, over 1.5 inches in diameter, hailstones being detected aloft by the radar. So could be some large hail falling in that area. Fortunately, pretty rural areas, which is good news in that area. So let's go ahead and back this out. I want to come back over to this one, and we're going to switch back over to live First Alert Radar. As we saw those two hail cores kind of taking shape, we're probably seeing a bit of a, not sure if that's a developing cell or if that's more of a split. We'll have to keep an eye on that, and keep an eye on these winds. Some broad rotation being detected with this storm, but right now it looks like likely more of just some strong wind gusts being produced on the southern edge of that storm system, but still some broad rotation. We'll keep an eye out. Could be a brief spin up. We don't expect any major tornado outbreaks tonight. The primary threat, of course, is going to be large hail and some brief, strong damaging wind gusts as well. Sorry about that. That is not the right... that is what I was trying to do. Kayla asking, and I know we're going to get this question a lot tonight, any storms in the Omaha, Nebraska, Elkhorn area? No. Could see some showers and thunderstorms much later this evening in the metro area, but again, very, very isolated chance. We don't expect any severe weather in the metro area, so if you're heading to bed in the metro area, I think that you're going to be just fine. These storms, we're going to go ahead and put this back on a loop and zoom out a little bit here and show you what we're talking about. You can see the Severe Thunderstorm Watch does include portions of the Fremont, Columbus, Norfolk, and York areas. It does not include the Omaha metro area. This watch is in effect until midnight tonight, so just about another 2 hours. And really for this post-sunset development that we're seeing, these storms carry a primary threat of large hail, could be some strong wind gusts as well. And as you see that cell that's developed in the Cedar Rapids area, that is the one closest to our area that we're keeping an eye on right now. In fact, let's go back live to that DOT camera out in Highway 56 near Cedar Rapids, as we've seen the rain pick up, the lightning pick up, and so far not seeing any indication of any hail falling at this specific location. Obviously that camera pretty well zoomed in on the roadway there, and getting indications of a developing hail core in and around this area, and that is why a severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect until 10 o'clock this evening for areas around Cedar Rapids, and then north of Timber Creek, and then approaching the Albion area is the primary concern. Right now that hail core is still well to the west of Cedar Rapids. Hopefully we'll be missing the community there. But if you know anyone traveling along Highway 56 near Cedar Rapids, they need to know that there is the potential of some large hail falling, especially between Cedar Rapids and Greeley over the next 15 to 20 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and go back now to live first alert radar as we're keeping an eye on this cell. Really beginning to develop some stronger signatures that would suggest, at the very least, some very intense downpours. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of vivid lightning with these storms as well. It, of course, helps the fact that it's after midnight, or excuse me, after sunset, and so much easier to see the lightning crashing around this area. We're keeping a close eye on the velocities. We're getting some indications of some broad rotation over by Loup City, and but nothing that's indicating an immediate risk of any kind of tornado activity, but could be a sign of the instability aloft producing the potentially large hailstones, and then also could produce some brief, strong, gusty winds. But we're going to keep an eye on that. There is a very, very low threat for a brief tornado, but right now, as you can see, the primary threat is going to be this large hail that we're seeing being detected on radar. We have not received any new storm reports over the last hour or so. Those reports you see scrolling at the top of your screen, those are largely from far northeast Nebraska, where a line of severe thunderstorms moved through earlier this evening. I'm going to go ahead and try that again, actually. Yeah, 1.7 inches in diameter. This is probably the strongest hail core we've seen in the last hour or so. Largely moving over rural areas southeast of Davis Creek. But if this does hold together, it will be approaching areas of highways 11 and 22 as it makes its way to the northeast, anywhere between 30 and 40 miles per hour this evening. We're also watching, looks like we may have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. Yes, we do, and we'll get that information here for you as it's scrolling on the bottom of your screen. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. Whoops. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for areas of Boone County, including Cedar Rapids and Primrose. Had been in effect until 10 o'clock, now in effect until 10:45 this evening. Severe thunderstorm was located near Primrose, or 14 miles southwest of Albion, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Hail damage to vehicles is expected in this storm. Right now, the primary threat is for half-dollar-sized hail, I believe around 1 1/4 inch diameter hail, and 60 mile-per-hour wind gusts in association with this storm. So severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Boone County until 10:45 this evening. Let's go ahead and zoom back out here and take a look at the complex as a whole that we've been looking at. Getting a pretty strong return on this cell, fortunately out over rural Nebraska, but you can see as these storms have kind of popped up along that boundary, now beginning to become a little bit more organized. I want to take a closer look at this one because this has got quite a potent hail core on it at this hour. Yeah, getting a couple of indicators of large hail over 2 different areas here, now approaching 2 inches in diameter. But again, this is the size of the hailstones that the radar is detecting in the atmosphere. It doesn't mean that hail is falling to the ground and it's that big, but it's certainly a strong indication in the cores of these hail signatures that there could very easily be 1 inch in diameter hail or larger falling in this area. But certainly some strengthening hail core signatures in these storms over the last 15 minutes or so. As you can see now, as we take a look at the last hour, how quickly these storms have fired up. Pretty much as soon as the sun set, things really got going here north of Grand Island. This looks like, if this is the only show, that this will likely just skirt our viewing area, especially the Norfolk area, over the next couple of hours. Again, this severe thunderstorm watch does remain in effect for portions of the First Alert 6 viewing area. Areas shaded in yellow here until midnight tonight. This does include counties including Fremont, Adams, Buffalo, Dodge, and Hall, Norfolk, Columbus, York, Fremont, also in the severe thunderstorm watch. But we're really hoping that right now, if the trends continue and we don't see any additional development, that really, oops. we're really going to be focusing in on this area of our viewing area as the primary area for strong to severe thunderstorms to develop and move through over the next hour or two. But again, right now we do have this one complex of severe thunderstorms just to the west of our viewing area, but approaching the northwest portion of our viewing area. 2 warnings now in effect. Primary threat appears to be large hail with these. And as we zoom in a little tighter, you can see the storm to the west certainly has a much stronger signature right now, but both capable of producing large hail at this hour. We're getting a decent-sized hail core in both of these. We have one up here southeast of Greeley now, could be producing 1-inch diameter hail, and then further to the west now 2-inch diameter hail being detected aloft. Fortunately, this westernmost cell over a very rural portion of Nebraska, hopefully if any of that large hail is reaching the ground, it is not falling over a populated area. That would be the best case scenario. I want to take you back out live again to the DOT camera out along Highway 56 near Cedar Rapids. We've been keeping an eye on this to see if we can see any hail falling on the DOT cam. Haven't really seen anything of immediate concern. The storm, I believe, is still the hail cores, at least, are still a little bit to the west of Cedar Rapids right now, but we're just keeping an eye on that as that storm continues to produce some very intense rainfall, very vivid lightning as well. And right now, the primary threat with this storm appears to be there could be some large hail in the area of Cedar Rapids and Primrose over the next half hour or so. All right, let's come back out live now to First Alert Radar as we're keeping an eye on these storms just to the west of our viewing area this evening. Could be skirting portions of the viewing area here over the next couple of hours. There you see a new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued. We're going to go ahead and switch back to the radar here and get you that information. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Greeley, Valley, Sherman, and Howard counties until 10:45 this evening. A severe thunderstorm located near Sherman Reservoir Dam, 15 miles south of Ord, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible with this storm. There you see that information now scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Greeley, Howard, Sherman, and Valley counties until 10:45 this evening. This is a bit more of a potent, more organized cell that we've been keeping an eye on. And not concerned about a widespread tornado threat tonight, but we are getting some broad rotation indications in the storm that we're certainly keeping an eye out for. But right now, no indication of any kind of tornadic activity in that area. Obviously, a very rural area, so not sure if spotters are getting a good beat on this at this late hour. But you can see here now getting some pretty intense hail core signatures. And fortunately, again, not just over a rural area, but over an area without any major highways in that area. We'd like to see that hail core weaken considerably before it continues to push off to the north and east. But you can see the areas in its path here all the way from southeast to Davis Creek upwards towards Greeley. This includes the Highway 11 and 22 corridors as well as it pushes off to the north and east. I'm going to double check, but I'm going to make the assumption that we do not have a camera in that area, but we're going to keep an eye on that. Right now, I do want to take you back out to the Cedar Rapids camera along Highway 56. They were kind of moving the camera around, but not really getting any indications of any severe weather being detected on the camera. A lot of intense rain, vivid lightning, but not seeing any hailstones in that area at this time, so that's the good news. But still the potential of 1 to 1.25 inch diameter hail in this area right along the Highway 56 corridor near Cedar Rapids, Nebraska. And so we're going to continue to monitor that and make sure that we don't see any indications of any large hail falling in that area. All right, let's take you back now live to First Alert Radar. These are quickly becoming the primary storms of the evening, with the westernmost storm now seemingly taking a more dominant posture, but still both of these storms capable of producing large hail. Right now, the fortunate thing is the stronger storm now in between Independent and Loup City appears to be over a very rural area, so hopefully if any large hail is falling in that area, it's not causing any damage. That is certainly the hope, as that storm continues to push off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Still seeing a pretty decent but somewhat compact hail core in that one, as well as southwest of Albion, right in the Cedar Rapids area where we've been keeping an eye on that DOT camera. Not really seeing any concerning imagery from that at this time. Also keeping an eye on the winds. We are seeing some broad rotation, especially southwest of Independent right now, but nothing that would indicate that a tornado is imminent. Just could be a sign of maybe some gustier winds and some of that turbulence that is producing some of these larger hailstones that the radar is detecting further aloft. No updates from the National Weather Service at this time. Do want to remind you, as we put this into motion and zoom out, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect until midnight. There you see the Weather Service has taken several counties essentially along and south of Interstate 80. Those counties have now been removed from this, as it appears this is going to be the complex of storms that we deal with for the next couple hours or so as they push off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until midnight for the counties shaded in yellow, but as you can see, several counties along and south of Grand Island and Interstate 80 have now been removed from that severe thunderstorm watch, as it appears the threat for severe weather now is going to be maintained in the northeastern portion of the state. All right, back now live to First Alert Radar, and we'll take you back in on these two cells, maintaining their intensity as they are pushing off to the northeast now at 30 miles per hour. And just want to give you an idea of some of the lightning we've seen. This is, I believe, just within the last 15 minutes, an incredible amount of lightning here. Whoops. Just want to take a look at just this one cell in the Independent area. Look at that. Almost 300 strikes just within the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. Extremely vivid lightning, and not as intense in the Albion area, but certainly intense enough. So enough to keep you awake if you're a light sleeper. But hopefully those hail cores are beginning to ease off a bit. And unfortunately right now that does not appear to be the case. We still have this very compact hail core southwest of Albion, capable of producing certainly 1-inch diameter hail, and then right south of Independent, still getting a rather potent and a more broader hail core in association with that storm that's produced the warning for Greeley, Howard, Sherman, and Valley counties until 10:45 this evening. I want to go ahead and put the this in motion as while we're zoomed in on this, and you can kind of see the motion of the storms certainly to the northeast, but kind of see a bit of matriculating back to the east a little bit in the latest scans as these storms are becoming a little bit more dominant over the rest of the complex out there. But certainly some very intense rainfall and likely some large hail falling south of Independent, hopefully just over some rural areas at this time. We've been keeping an eye on the eastern severe thunderstorm warning storm in Boone County. We've been watching a DOT camera along Highway 56 near Cedar Rapids, not seeing any indication that any hail has fallen in that area. If it did fall, it certainly was small and likely didn't produce any damage. And it appears we may have gotten a bit of a locked up. There we go. New severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Boone, Madison, and Platte County. So this is the first warning for a portion of the First Alert 6 viewing area. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Boone, Madison, and Platte counties until 11 o'clock this evening. I want to go ahead and get that information here up on the screen. We'll give you some what the National Weather Service is saying here. A severe thunderstorm located over Albion, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and $half sized hail, or about 1 1/4 inches in diameter, are the primary threats. So severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Boone, Madison, and Platte counties until 11 o'clock this evening. So this is the storm that we expected to be slowly making its way into the First Alert 6 viewing area, and it is now doing so, as that warning now includes portions of our area. Right now, the primary concern is with this hail core, still maintaining a pretty decent intensity, well over 1 inch in diameter. Again, that is the stones it's detecting thousands of feet in the atmosphere. That does not mean that large hail is reaching the ground, but that could be a sign of the imminent threat of large hail falling over that area. As we zoom out, we are now getting a new severe thunderstorm warning well to our west in association with these storms well to the west of our viewing area, as some of these are now approaching severe limits in terms of a hail threat. But right now I do want to focus in on this storm approaching the Albion area, where the bulk of this storm is now centered on. I want to see if we've double check and see if we've got any cameras in that area as well. Not seeing any cameras. Once we get over towards Newman Grove, we're going to get a better look at this, as this will pass a little bit closer to a camera. But that is probably a good 20 to 30 minutes away. We'll see if we got any image from that camera at all, actually. Certainly a very, very dark image. We'll get that up for you here in just a minute. But this storm will be ultimately approaching the Newman Grove area of, I believe that is Highway 32. Apologies for the animations being a little temperamental with us here, but yes, this is a live camera kind of spinning around right now, extremely dark along Highway 32 near Newman Grove. Nothing immediate taking place. There's a storm likely still about 10 or 15 minutes away from this area, but obviously seeing some flashes of lightning as the storm approaches, and we'll have to see not a lot of illumination out on that camera. You can see the roadway just barely with the flashes of lightning. We'll keep an eye on this as the storm does get a little closer to this area and see if we can detect any hail reaching the ground. So far, no additional reports of any hail from these storms over the last couple of hours, but certainly something that we're keeping an eye out for, as that appears to be the primary threat tonight as we move through the next couple hours. All right, let's go back now live to First Alert radar here. Still monitoring that hail core as it's approaching the Albion area. See if, there we go, we got the radar back online, and we're going to throw this in motion so you can see really maintaining that motion to the northeast at anywhere between about 35 to 45 miles per hour. Seeing a lot of weakening in the latest scans on this, but as is often the case with these hail-producing storms, that can certainly change in an instant. Also getting some pretty strong returns on our severe thunderstorm warning storm over the Independent area along the Highway 11 corridor. Have seen a very, very potent hail core in this one as well. 1.7. We were seeing 2 inches in diameter earlier this evening, but certainly 1-inch hailstones very possibly falling in this area. The good news is, very remote area, and hopefully that will prevent any major damage in that area. We're going to zoom out now and give you the bigger picture here. And you can see the severe thunderstorm warnings we now have in effect. You can also see that the Weather Service has been kind of parsing down the severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until midnight tonight. A good chunk of that south of Grand Island has now been canceled. But for the rest of the county, still shaded in yellow, including those in the First Alert 6 area. Severe thunderstorm watch does remain in effect until midnight tonight. Again, it does not include the Omaha metro area. So severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until midnight tonight for the counties shaded in yellow. Jason over on Facebook asking about anything near Fremont. Now, Fremont is on the fringe of this severe thunderstorm watch. It is part of the watch, but right now it's looking less and less likely that we're going to see any severe weather in that area. You can't rule it out. That's why the watch is still in effect. And certainly there will be the potential of some showers and thunderstorms as we move through the evening and overnight hours tonight. But it looks like where you see the storms right now that are tracking to the north and east, this is going to be the primary threat. As everything south of this, we're now seeing that watch quickly be canceled. And so I believe the Weather Service is seeing all indications that these are the storms that we're going to be dealing with. They're going to quickly move to the northeast over the next couple hours, and then we should see that severe threat quickly subside with it, but certainly can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm for the rest of the evening. So still under a severe thunderstorm watch in Fremont until midnight, but I will say the chances of a severe weather in that area appear to be lessening and lessening by the minute as these storms of immediate concern appear to be passing well to the west and north of the Fremont area. Real quick, let's take you back out live to one DOT camera in the path of this severe thunderstorm warned storm. This is Highway 32 near Newman Grove. I'm going to try and zoom in on this and get a better look at what we're dealing with in that area. We're going to go ahead and bring the radar in on this, and we're going to zoom in on this storm and give you a better idea of what we're looking at here. So there you see Newman Grove on the eastern edge of this severe thunderstorm warned storm, and the reflectivity could be a little bit deceiving. This is right in between a couple of radar sites, and we are looking at a camera where we're already seeing a decent amount of lightning approaching this area. We're looking at a camera right in this area. If you can see my little doodle there, that is where the camera is in association with this storm along Highway 32 near Newman Grove. So obviously still seeing plenty of lightning with these storms, but no immediate concern. We've been keeping an eye on the hail cores as those appear to be the primary threat tonight with these storms, but we're seeing that hail core weaken again. We have seen it weaken a couple of times and kind of regenerate itself as it likely drops some of its heavier stones, and then as it maintains that instability and that turbulence aloft, it produces new and heavier stones and sort of regenerates itself. We'll have to see if that is the case as it approaches this camera near Newman Grove. And then further to the west, we do still have another potent cell just to the west of that warned storm, and then between Greeley and Independent, that is probably the strongest storm we've seen so far tonight. We've been trying to keep an eye on velocity scans, really not seeing anything of major concern other than maybe a brief wind gust, but no indications of an immediate threat of any tornado spin-ups. Right now, there you see the primary threat maintains or continues to be the potential for large hail, now approaching 2 inches in diameter aloft in the Independent area. Not seeing anything of that caliber in the Albion area, right around 1 inch in diameter. But again, these are very dynamic situations where these hail cores again strengthen, weaken, then re-strengthen again. And that has been the pattern over the last couple of hours. So certainly, although things are looking a little bit better here, as it's approaching the Newman Grove area, exiting the Albion area, certainly not out of the woods yet, as we've seen these storms certainly kind of cycle back and forth between stronger hail cores and weaker hail cores. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this as it approaches the Newman Grove area. Again, if you're just joining us, we are monitoring these severe thunderstorm warned storms well to the north and west of the Omaha metro area. These are in the northern portion of the First Alert 6 viewing area. Severe Thunderstorm Watch does remain in effect for areas west and north of Fremont. However, that does not include the Omaha metro area. We do not expect any severe weather in the metro area tonight. So if you're wondering what to expect in the metro as you're headed to bed, should be a quiet night. Could see some isolated showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two as we move into the early morning hours. But again, no severe weather expected in the metro area this evening. This is largely going to be confined to northeastern Nebraska over the next couple of hours, as that severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until midnight tonight. And several severe thunderstorm warnings now being issued across the northern portion of Nebraska. We're going to go ahead and back out the radar, and we'll go ahead and take it full screen here. And you can kind of see the bigger picture as these storms have developed over the last hour. Several warnings now in effect, the primary threat being for large hail and some isolated strong damaging winds. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the live image now. We'll zoom in on this this area so you can get a better look at it. And there you see kind of the collection of severe thunderstorm warnings. We're going to start and work our way from left to right. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Valley and Sherman counties until 11 o'clock. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized or 1-inch diameter hail are the primary threats. Just to the east of that, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for portions of Greeley, Valley, Sherman, and Howard counties. That will remain in effect until 10:45 this evening. Severe thunderstorm was located near the North Loup area or 12 miles southeast of Ord, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Further to the east, closer to our area, severe thunderstorm warning continues for Boone County until 10:45, and for portions of Madison, Platte, and eastern Boone County until 11 o'clock this evening. Severe thunderstorm warning, severe thunderstorm moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1.25-inch hail are the primary threats. We're going to zoom back in on this area as the storm is now entering the First Alert 6 viewing area. We want to go back to that camera now in the Newman Grove area. This is actually north of Newman Grove at the intersection of highways 32 and 45. Let me see here, about 5 miles north of Newman Grove. You can see that intense lightning picking up. This is a tight shot of the roadway, so not going to see much until the rain starts falling or becomes more intense, but wanted to keep an eye out for this to see if we do see any hail reaching the ground, but we're going to have to rely on the lightning to illuminate this image as the storm continues to approach that area. All right, we're going to keep this image up as we're keeping an eye on the radar as well. And I want to zoom in a little tighter on this. So there you see Newman Grove in the upper portion of the radar image. Highway 91 over to Highway 45 is where the most intense portion of this cell is located right now, really getting closer to Newman Grove. It looks like that's going to pass south of where this camera is located. I'll go ahead and draw that on the screen here for you. So the live picture you're looking at is located right about here at that intersection or interchange north of Newman Grove. And so hopefully if there is hail falling in association with the storm, it will not be impacting the highway there, but could still be a threat to the Newman Grove area. So people in that area do need to watch out for that. National Weather Service continuing to monitor the storm in Boone County. And not really seeing a lot of good organization in it, seeing a lot of kind of splitting, as we said. We've seen these cells. I'm going to go ahead and zoom this out a little bit here to show you what the Weather Service is talking about. But not really seeing any one individual cell kind of maintaining, as you see kind of pulses throughout this complex at times. And right now one of those pulses is approaching the Newman Grove area. And so really hard, the Weather Service is saying, to really pinpoint where the primary threat for hail is in areas of these storms. So really just kind of a pulsing effect going on here. Not really an organized, what we would like to call an organized supercell, but this pulsing of these storms as they're pushing off to the northeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. A little bit more organization in the storms further to the west around Greeley, Independent, over by Ord. Still seeing some much stronger returns on radar, some much more potent hail cores. Boy, this hail core southeast of Independent has really been sitting over that area for quite a while and is now about as strong as we've seen tonight. Just over 2-inch diameter hail being detected aloft by the radar, and have not gotten any reports of the size of the hail in that area. And hopefully we can chalk that up to the fact that this is a pretty remote area, and hopefully if any large hail does fall, it will not be falling over a populated area where it can do any damage. We're also keeping an eye on the velocity on these, just seeing some very disorganized rotation, but some indication southeast of Independent, especially along the Highway 11 corridor. There could be some stronger wind gusts in that area, but really the primary threat, especially with all those highways in that area, is that extremely potent hail core right over the Highway 11 corridor east of Independent. I think that is the most concerning signature we're seeing right now. And as you see on the left side of your screen, we are keeping an eye out on that storm around the greater Boone County area. You're looking north of Newman Grove right now, where we're seeing some intense lightning as that storm approaches that area. But right now, that hail core still a potential threat for the Newman Grove area, but quite a bit weaker than some of the storms we're seeing further to the west at this hour. All right, we're going to go back now to live first alert radar. There you see some of these storms that we've been keeping an eye on, certainly producing a lot of potential hail, but a lot of this falling over rural areas. Back here in the first alert 6 viewing area, there you see Newman Grove and Emmerich, as well as Boone, kind of seeing the current path or the current location of a possible hail core near Newman Grove. But as the Weather Service alluded to just a short time ago, these are really kind of pulsing up and down and really not showing a lot of significant organization in terms of coalescing around an individual cell and producing a more organized supercell. These are really just kind of pulsing showers and thunderstorms moving through the area. There's that hail core right along the Highway 91 corridor south of Newman Grove, still capable, according to radar, of producing 1-inch diameter hail, maybe a little bit larger, but right now no indication that that is hitting the ground. No reports yet coming into the National Weather Service. Let's see if we have any cameras further to the west. I don't think we do. Not seeing anything at this time. See if we can get another camera up in that area. This is certainly the strongest storm we've been keeping an eye on tonight. But being able to get a camera in that general area is certainly a bit difficult. Just not getting any good cameras in that area. We're going to keep looking. Yeah, these cameras are a little bit too far to the north to really see much. So not really able to get a good look at the storms now, as the camera north of Newman Grove is kind of out of position to see anything going on with that particular cell. That cell has largely maintained its intensity over the last half hour or so, but very compact. as it's now passing very close to the Newman Grove area. There you see the hail core between Newman Grove and Lindsay, right along the Highway 91 corridor. Still capable of producing hail upwards of 1 inch in diameter. Another one over by the Primrose area right now, and then also this much larger, more significant hail core southwest of Greeley. We've really seen this hail core not move much over the last hour or so, but now over some roadways, including Highways 11, Highway 22 as well, and getting closer to the Highway 281 corridor south of Greeley. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, but that hail core just has not really moved all that much. You know, I'm somewhat suspecting it may be possibly due to a lost signal. I mean, it could be an older scan. Greeley certainly looks like it is next in line for that possible hail core. Right now we'll take you back here to the northwest portion of the First Alert 6 area. There you see the Newman Grove area where the strongest portion of that storm is passing over or just south of that area. Severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect for this area until 11 o'clock this evening as these storms continue to push off to the northeast at between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Getting an update now from the Storm Prediction Center. Let me take a look at this. The risk for severe wind gusts and large hail is expected to increase and expand northwestward over the next 1 to 2 hours. Now, this is concerning areas along and west of Ord, Albion, Norfolk, and Wayne here in Nebraska. Severe Thunderstorm Watch does continue until midnight tonight, but the National Weather Service advising they do expect the threat, especially northeast of the storms that we're seeing right now, to continue to increase. They expect these storms to continue to strengthen. I want to go ahead and throw this in motion here real quick as we're watching that one cell way out west, out by Highway 281. That is the one cell out of all of these that's exhibiting any signs of being a supercell with a consistent and strong hail core. But certainly we'll have to bear some watching as we're seeing cells develop all around it. And we'll have to see whether or not these sort of coalesce as they continue to push off to the northeast. But let's go ahead and zoom out and put this back in motion. There you see the counties still under that severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. And I want to give you an idea of what the Storm Prediction Center is talking about here. Right now it appears that the threat is largely going to stay confined to this area over the next couple of hours. And they do believe that threat will continue to increase for this area. You'll notice that does not include some of the southeasternmost counties in the Severe Thunderstorm Watch. I do want to stress that watch remains in effect until midnight, but it does appear that areas such as Columbus and Fremont may miss out on this severe weather action that we're seeing tonight, and that would certainly be good news as we're moving into the overnight hours. I know a lot of people don't like to try and sleep through thunderstorms, and that's not something you want to deal with. Again, we don't expect any severe weather in the metro area this evening, and it is looking increasingly unlikely for areas including Fremont and Columbus, as this complex of storms has not produced any new lines to the south and east and is moving off to the northeast, where the greatest threat for additional severe weather exists. So for our area, one area of concern is right over the Newman Grove area. And actually, let's switch back to the live First Alert radar and get a better look at that. There you go. So this is the area that we're watching. Norfolk is certainly going to be in line for this. It doesn't look very potent right now, but the Storm Prediction Center says that the risk for not only large hail, but for wind gusts is expected to increase over the next 1 to 2 hours. So if you're joining us from the areas you see on your screen right now, that is the primary concern in our viewing area. Again, the Omaha metro area does not appear to be in any threat for severe weather tonight, and would not be surprised to see additional counties be shaved off of the severe thunderstorm watch, which again is only in effect for about another hour and 20 minutes or so, set to expire in at midnight tonight. I want to go back out west because we've been talking about this one particular storm that is the one exhibiting any kind of indication of being somewhat supercellular. We've now had, as you see on the bottom of your screen, this has been upgraded to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Greeley County that will remain in effect until 11:45 this evening. This is a pretty long duration severe thunderstorm warning, considerable severe thunderstorm warning, and we are seeing some concerning signs of some stronger winds southwest of Greeley, approaching the Highway 281 corridor. Could be some rotation in that. Obviously, the Weather Service will be keeping a close eye on that. But right now, other than maybe a brief spin up, I think the bigger concern with that would be a sudden brief wind gust, as well as what we've been watching all night long is this massive hail core in that area that's just getting stronger and stronger, now getting indications of 2.3-inch diameter hail aloft in this area west of Greeley. That is larger than the size of an egg, so certainly capable of producing damage for any motorist traveling in that area where you see that very potent hail core west-southwest of Greeley. We've been trying to get some reports from that area. We have not received any reports of any large hail. That's good news. It is a remote area, but obviously passing over roadways raises some red flags that there could be some problems in that area. I want to see if we can get back on the camera front here. And again, not a lot of cameras in this area. The best camera we have remotely close to the storm is in the Cedar Rapids area, and you can see on the radar that is just not anywhere near this storm right now. This is in somewhat of a camera dead zone, and not really able to pick up much in the way of reliable information as to what's going on in that area, at least from the DOT cameras. I'm going to zoom in a little tighter on this area so you can see the areas being affected by this hail core. There you see Greeley, Horace, and Independent, and that large hail core just sitting over the Highway 11, Highway 22 area right now. But again, just not any significant camera coverage in that area where we're able to get a decent image of what exactly may be going on in that area. Let's go ahead and zoom back out here. I want to bring the radar back up here real quickly. There we go. So you can see the motion of that storm. This considerable severe thunderstorm warning, again, will remain in effect until 11:45 this evening. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning continuing for the Newman Grove area until 11 o'clock this evening. That is going to be expiring here in the next 20 minutes. Just going to check and see if the Weather Service has any updates on that. They do not, but admittedly, in this area there you see that hail core has weakened again considerably, and the primary concern for hail well to our west now in the Greeley area, where that cell has really become more organized over the last 15 minutes, and getting some indication of some rotation that does bear some watching. But again, the primary threat is going to be the potential of some very large hail in this area. If we zoom out, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in motion off the Omaha NexRad site. And you can see, again, the general motion of these to the northeast, anywhere from 35 to 45 miles per hour. And there you see where it is in relation to Humphrey, Columbus, West Point, Scribner, Fremont. And really, this is going to stay very far away from the metro area and the surrounding area. And so that is why it is just this northern part of the First Alert 6 viewing area under this severe thunderstorm watch. We've seen a lot of counties to the south be removed from this, and this watch is actually only in effect until midnight tonight. So the Weather Service will have to decide what they want to do. My assumption is they'll continue to remove counties from this as the storms push off to the northeast, and then they may extend the duration of it for far northeastern Nebraska here over the next hour or two if the threat continues. Storm Prediction Center a short time ago saying they do expect the threat for strong winds and large hail to increase especially areas along and north of Norfolk. So the northernmost portion of our viewing area and points to the north under the gun as this complex of showers and severe thunderstorms continues to push off to the northeast at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. All right, we're going to zoom in on this complex here as it continues to push off to the northeast. You can see really that centralmost storm in the Greeley area really packing the heaviest punch right now, and that is where we're seeing some concerning reports of or concerning indicators from radar of some very large hail possible, but not getting any reports on the ground as a very remote area, hopefully not doing any damage as a result of that. But again, that is the primary concern right now, is that area. At the top of your screen, you can see the severe weather reports over the last 3 hours across the state of Nebraska, as well as all of the storm reports in Iowa and Nebraska over the last 24 hours. Most of those coming in far northeastern Nebraska earlier this evening as a first wave of showers and thunderstorms moved through the area, and now we're getting a wind report a short time ago from one of these storms. Let me see if I can get a pinpoint on that. And before we do that, we have a concerning development here. This is now a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for Greeley County until 11:45. So if you know anybody living in this area, you're joining us from the Greeley County area you see now shaded in orange. This is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning in effect now until 11:45 p.m. This is for the potential of very large hail, as we're seeing that extremely potent hail core. I'm going to put that information back up on the screen. There you see hail upwards of 2 inches in diameter being detected by radar. I'll switch back here to the main scan as you see that destructive severe thunderstorm warning now in effect again until 11:45. Right now the concern is for baseball. I'm going to say that again. Baseball-sized hail. This is confirmed. Trained weather spotters reported hail the size or near the size of baseball near Scotia. So extremely large hail now confirmed to have fallen in this area as this is now a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. This is the highest level, so if you know anybody or you're joining us from this area, Spalding to Greeley, anywhere in that polygon, if you're in that area right now, your phone is likely going off, as destructive severe thunderstorm warnings are treated the same as tornado warnings because of the potential of life-threatening conditions. In this case, baseball-sized hail, or near the size of baseballs, that has fallen. That can produce extremely significant damage and is certainly life-threatening if you're caught outside in that. So a destructive severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Greeley County until 11:45 this evening. Also getting an update from the National Weather Service on this situation. Continue to pulse. Storms farther southwest rapidly intensifying. Storms should continue to ramp up over the next hour as they push to the northeast. The highlighted storms may become the main area to watch as this cluster evolves, and certainly this is indicative of that, as near baseball-sized hail has been reported in this area just southwest of Greeley. That was confirmed by trained weather spotters, and so a destructive severe thunderstorm warning now in effect until 11:45 this evening. Again, I want to thank everyone that's joining us this evening. If you are in one of these warned areas, please let us know. You can comment on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube chat as well. But again, right now the main concern is with the potential of baseball-sized hail that has reportedly fallen southwest of the Greeley area this evening. And so that is why this destructive severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for this area. I understand it's not a very populated area, but anyone caught in in the path of such hailstones, it is a life-threatening situation, as that can do serious damage and threaten the lives of anybody that's caught outside in this severe thunderstorm now over the Greeley area. You can see that hail core now getting awfully close to the Greeley area. I don't believe we have any cameras in that area, unfortunately, but this is a very concerning situation. I know it's not in our viewing area, but destructive severe thunderstorm warnings are extremely serious. And so we want to kind of focus in on this area. If you know anybody in that area, or if you are joining us from that area, we want to make sure that you're aware that this is not just your average severe thunderstorm warning, as there is the potential, and there has been confirmed hail near the size of baseballs that has fallen in this area. If you're wondering, baseball-sized hail is about 2 3/4 inches in diameter. I want to go ahead and put the hail scan. These hail scans are kind of lagging a little bit behind the reflectivity scans, but you can see that intense hail core, very organized there, still showing 2.2 inches in diameter according to radar aloft. We're also seeing some intensifying hail cores in the Albion area, where there currently is no severe thunderstorm warning. The severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect until 11 o'clock for portions of the First Alert 6 area has been canceled. And so right now the primary concern is with this destructive severe thunderstorm warning right over the Greeley area right now, pushing to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So we take a look at, we are seeing some more organized rotation in this storm. That's a bit concerning, but right now, there's been no indication of any tornadic development. We'll certainly keep an eye on that. But that rotation may also be indicative of the intense turbulence aloft that's producing these large hailstones. So right now, we're just kind of watching this area of rotation right south of the Greeley area. And this doesn't mean that there's a developing tornado. Again, this could be indicative of that turbulence that's producing these large hailstones. We certainly hope that we're not going to see a tornado in this area. That is still an isolated threat tonight, but again, I cannot stress enough that the primary threat with this storm right now is extremely large hail right over the Greeley area right now. Okay, we were talking about that hail core to the northeast that did not have a warning on it. It now does have a warning. So we'll go ahead and pop that up here on the screen for you. Severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued for portions of Antelope and Boone counties. You see that scrolling at the bottom of your screen until 11:30 this evening. Severe thunderstorm located over Petersburg, or 10 miles north of Albion, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail are the primary threats. There you see that hail core south of Petersburg, right now detecting hail sizes upwards of 1.7 inch in diameter aloft. And this is just another one of these pulse storms producing these large hail cores. However, this one is different in the Greeley area. We're going to switch over to reflectivity because I think this is a little bit of a dated image. There is a very significant hail core that has passed either on top of or very close to Greeley. And right now, real concern about what's happening in that area. As you see on the bottom of your screen, a destructive severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for this area. That is why we're paying such close attention to this right now, as this is a life-threatening situation for this portion of Greeley County over the next 50 minutes or so left in this warning. Greeley right now under the gun for that life-threatening hail. Spalding, you could be in the line for this very potent hail core next. But a very significant situation unfolding right now in Greeley County, where this severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect. Still, unfortunately, no cameras in the immediate area of this severe thunderstorm right now. Cameras are north and east of this hail core, and some of them are just flat out not functioning at this hour. But a very remote area. Hopefully that will spare any major damage from this, as it is, again, a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. These need to be treated like tornado warnings. They are just as serious. In this case, for extremely large hail, upwards of baseball-sized hail was confirmed southwest of Greeley a short time ago by trained weather spotters. That hail core may have passed over the community or hopefully north of the community right along the Highway 281 corridor. So anyone traveling in this area hopefully will have gotten the alert on their phones, because destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, as I said, are treated like tornado warnings. And so if you're in the area, it's going to trigger that EAS alert on your phone for the potential of life-threatening weather conditions in that area. Again, not really getting any indications that this hail core has weakened at all, and unfortunately it looks like it may have passed directly over the Greeley area. We're working to get some more information on that. The National Weather Service, in its storm report, said that there was a photo posted to social media of the hail, but did not provide any additional information as to where that might be. I know some of you are asking about Omaha. If you're just joining us, the Omaha metro area is not under any type of severe weather watches or warnings or alerts. We do not expect any severe weather in the metro area. However, for our friends in the northern part of our viewing area, you do still remain under a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. And we are keeping an eye out on these extremely strong storms to the west of our viewing area, particularly this one in the Greeley area that has triggered a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for Greeley County until 11:45. Weather Service receiving a confirmation of near baseball-sized hail southwest of Greeley a short time ago, and there are apparently social media photos of some of that hail. We don't have the permission to show those photos to you, unfortunately, but the Weather Service apparently confident enough that they are genuine as to report that as baseball-sized hail, which is about 2 3/4 inches in diameter. Unfortunately, if people were sharing photos of that hail, then that means that that hail likely fell over at least somewhat of a populated area, and it would be hard to believe that hail that big would fall and not produce any significant damage. We can only hope that that's not the case, but again, significant situation playing out in the Greeley area, that Highway 281 corridor. Anybody traveling in that area, if you're caught in a hail core producing hailstones that big, your car does not stand a chance. You are going to have some serious dents and likely shattered windshields if you come across hailstones that large. Okay, we're going to back out here just to kind of reset a little bit. As you can see, the severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect. We have several severe thunderstorm warnings just west of our viewing area right now that have been issued, and it looks like we may be getting a new one here in just a moment. No, that one's old as well. I don't know why we're getting these old alerts. Not sure what's causing that, but we are keeping an eye out for a severe thunderstorm warning that is just west of our viewing area. There you see for that potential hail core north of Albion. And that is moving closer to the Norfolk area. In regards to populated areas in our viewing area, that is probably the area of most concern right now for the potential of severe weather in the greater Norfolk area later this evening. But again, right now our main concern is in the greater Greeley area west of our area, where a destructive severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 11:45 this evening. We're going to get, we do have some cameras in the area of Petersburg. We're going to try and get those up here for you. Get an update on the situation there. See if we can get this camera up for you here. All right, hopefully this will work. So this camera we're about to show you is at the intersection of highways 14 and 32 in Petersburg, where a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect right now. You can see the lightning and rain falling in that area. Not seeing any immediate indication of hail falling. There is indications of some possibly 1-inch diameter hail falling near the location of this camera. At the again, this is the intersection of highways 14 and 32 near Petersburg. I'm going to go ahead and we'll pop this into a split here so you can get a better look at that. We'll zoom in on that area, and you can see that there may have been a hail core that passed over this area a short time ago. But right now it looks like just some very strong wind, maybe some smaller hailstones falling, but otherwise just a lot of intense rainfall and lightning in the Petersburg area right now. Again, this is the intersection of Highway 14 and 32. A severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect for this area until 11:30 this evening as this severe thunderstorm moves through that area at about 30 miles per hour. So we're going to keep an eye on this camera as well, but it appears that the main hail core may have passed to the east of the location of this camera as these storms continue to move off to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. Again, we're continuing to monitor any reports of large hail. The primary hail report we received a short time ago of concern is baseball-sized hail southwest of Greeley in Greeley County. There are some social media photos circulating that the National Weather Service believes to be valid. What appears to be egg-sized hail in the Scotia area around 10:30 this evening as well. And so those reports are what triggered the destructive severe thunderstorm warning for Greeley County. That remains in effect until 11:45 this evening. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings now come in 3 flavors. Most of them are still severe thunderstorm warnings, 60-mile-per-hour winds, any hail upwards of 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter. Larger hail or winds upwards of 70 miles per hour, that gets you what we call a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. And then finally, the most serious warning is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, which you see scrolling on the bottom of your screen right now for Greeley County. And in this case, that is for baseball-sized hail that is falling, and it looks like we did just get an update on that warning. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the Petersburg camera up just because we're getting a decent picture from that. But I want to go back to the storm that was impacting the Greeley area. Greeley now, the city of Greeley, no longer under that destructive severe thunderstorm warning. However, it does remain in effect for portions of Greeley County. Severe thunderstorm was located near Spalding, or 23 miles west of Albion, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is a destructive storm. Spalding, you are in the path. We're going to go ahead and take live first alert radar here full, because I want to make sure if we have anybody watching in that area, or you know anybody in that area, this is the main area of concern right now. Anyone along that Highway 91 corridor in the Spalding area, time is about up. This cell has potential of producing extremely large, extremely destructive hail, and so that is why a destructive severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for this area until 11:45 this evening. Again, this is an area of very limited camera coverage. I don't believe we have any cameras in that area. We have been trying to get a better image, but I believe the camera that we have in that area is actually west of where this hail core is located. And to be perfectly honest, there are no DOT cameras in Greeley County where this severe thunderstorm warning continues at this hour. The closest camera we have, I believe, is in... It's in Boone County, but I can't make out where that is. It's a Petersburg camera. Still a fair distance away from this particular storm, far enough away that they're dealing with their own severe thunderstorm right now. And that's the camera that we've been keeping an eye on for the last few minutes, as they may be next in line for this extremely dangerous storm if it does maintain its intensity as it pushes off to the northeast now at about 40 miles per hour. So continuing to monitor this dangerous situation for that area as we continue to push closer to the midnight hour. Again, that severe thunderstorm watch right now expected to remain in effect until midnight. The Storm Prediction Center advising that areas north and east of what you're looking at right now are under the primary threat with this system as conditions continue to deteriorate in that area. It looks like we lost our Petersburg camera. Let's see if we can get it back up. There we go. So there's a live look at Petersburg. This is the Highway 14 and 32 interchange near Petersburg, where a severe thunderstorm warning continues at this hour for the potential of large hail. We believe any potentially large hail falling in that area has moved to the east of Petersburg. But people in that area, you're not out of the woods yet, because there is a much stronger hail core making its way towards you over the next hour or so that we'll have to keep an eye on, especially if it maintains its intensity. There you see on the right side of your screen, on the upper right portion of the radar image, that's Petersburg under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. And then if you look in the lower left portion of that radar image near Spalding, that is the destructive severe thunderstorm that has already produced near baseball-sized hailstones southwest of Greeley earlier this evening. And that is really the main storm of concern right now. Now, although the hail threat may have subsided for now, at least in the Petersburg area, you can see the ongoing heavy rainfall and that intense lightning that we've seen associated with these storms. Again, this is the Highway 14 and 32 interchange in Petersburg. This is northeast of the storm, now bearing down on Spalding. I want to put a ruler on that. So we're looking about 18 miles away from the more significant hail core that's right over the Spalding area right now. And this is a hail core that has really maintained its intensity, if not grown stronger, over 2 to 3 hours now. Still radar detecting 2-inch diameter hail aloft, and that number has been higher at times. But this is certainly more indicative of a supercell, as this is a hail core that has really maintained its intensity for some time. One bit of good news is we have seen the destructive severe thunderstorm warning area reduced as it's really focused on this hail core you see there. I want to flip back to reflectivity so you can see the difference here. So you'll notice around Spalding, I'm going to take this full here for just a moment. If you notice around Spalding, you can see that that polygon is a different color. It's orange, and that is indicative of a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. You see all the other polygons over this entire line, this complex that's taken shape, more general severe thunderstorm warnings for the threat of hail, but it's that area right there of the destructive severe thunderstorm warning where there is significant concern of life-threatening hail falling out of that core you see right there, headed for the Petersburg area, moving to the northeast now at about 40 miles per hour. I want to take that off and zoom out a little bit here, and I want to put this in motion so you can see this was really disorganized a couple of hours ago, but just within the last hour we've seen this line of thunderstorms become a little bit more organized, and the Storm Prediction Center remains concerned that that threat is going to continue for some time this evening as we continue to push into the overnight hours. Again, if you're just joining us, the Omaha metro area, not under any watches or warnings. We do not expect any severe weather or any major thunderstorms for the metro area tonight. Columbus, Fremont, I know people have been asking about that. You do remain under a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight tonight, so about another 50 minutes. But all signs for now point to these storms staying north of Fremont and Columbus, and the Weather Service has been indicating they do not expect any storms to develop further to the south of these that could impact those areas. So officially, and let me double check here, yes, the Severe Thunderstorm Watch does continue for areas including Fremont and Norfolk and Columbus. Norfolk, not out of the woods yet, as strong thunderstorms are pushing into that area. Columbus and Fremont, not sounding the all clear yet, but I would say just about there, as it looks like this is going to be the primary show tonight, well to the north of you, and I would not be surprised to see that watch dropped for the Fremont and Columbus areas. However, it is already set to expire here in about 49 minutes, so they may just let it run its course. But if you're in the Columbus, Fremont areas, pretty safe to say you're okay headed to bed if you need to get up in the morning and you don't want to have to stay up and worry about this. But for folks to the north of you, unfortunately, still quite a bit of a bumpy night ahead for this portion of Nebraska, as we do have this complex of hail-producing storms kind of coalescing now as it's pushing off to the northeast at 35 to 40 miles per hour. We've been keeping an eye on the velocity. We are getting some stronger wind gusts on the backside of this complex, but again, the primary threat has to do with these hail cores, especially this one right now in Greeley County, still holding right around 2 inches in diameter of hail detected aloft. So zoom in a little tighter on this area now so you can get a better look at what's going on. We're going to go back to the split here with, we've been keeping an eye on the DOT camera in Petersburg. That is what you're seeing on the left side of your screen. That's the Highway 14 and 32 interchange, and it looks like it may have frozen up on us. Let's see if we can't get it back here. We may have lost the camera. Looks like it's trying to come back here on us. There we go. And things really quieting down from what we saw just a few minutes ago. The rain really letting up. Still plenty of lightning in the Petersburg areas. There's just sporadic hail cores. But the main concern right now is over Spalding in Greeley County. That is where the primary hail core is, that we could be seeing 1 to 2 inch diameter hail falling in this area. We don't have any cameras in this area, but Akron, you are next in line for this very dangerous storm, capable, or has a history rather, of producing hailstones upwards of the size of baseballs. That was reported southwest of Greeley earlier this evening, baseball-sized or near baseball-sized hail. That cell continues to push off to the northeast now. And Akron is next in line for that, and then Petersburg, where you're looking at this live picture at the 14 and 32 interchange, that would be next in line for this very potent thunderstorm. Some of you asking about tornado chances. Tornado chances, there could be an isolated spin up, but really the tornado threat right now is extremely low. The main concern right now is with these large hail cores that we're seeing pass over this area. And right now, much of this is avoiding the First Alert 6 viewing area, but because we do still have the potential of some severe weather in the Norfolk area, and we've had this destructive severe thunderstorm warning issued to our west for Greeley County, we wanted to stay on here for anybody who might be joining us outside of the area, just to keep you apprised of what's going on. I know it's a late hour. We're kind of bouncing in between a couple of radar sites here, so that's kind of messing with our ability to see what's going on, as these storms are pretty distant from the radar sites right now, but clearly, especially in the Spalding area, where unfortunately we don't have any cameras available, they have been dealing with a very potent storm that has a history of producing very large hailstones, and it's just not moving that quickly, as we've seen these storms kind of settle into a pattern as they're kind of following each other on this conveyor belt to the northeast now at about 40 miles per hour. And that trend just has continued over the last hour or two. So we're going to go ahead and keep this camera up in Petersburg, as they are, looks like another intense cell is approaching that area here in the next minute or two, and that's why you're seeing that lightning continue, even though the rain has let up a little bit here. I could see that pick up here in just the next few minutes. And they are also in the path of this destructive thunderstorm that could be headed their way here within the next hour, as we're seeing what looks like... I'm not sure if that is a new warning or not. I don't believe that is. No, that is the existing warning. We're getting another update, it looks like, from the Storm Prediction Center here. Or is this the old one? No, this is the old one. I don't know why it's sending that out again. A lot of information basically coming from a lot of offices tonight. We're monitoring reports from the National Weather Service, from the Storm Prediction Center as well. The Storm Prediction Center obviously responsible for collecting storm reports, issuing watches, and kind of monitoring the overall situation. So even after they issue a watch, and they're not responsible for issuing warnings, they do provide updates on what they do expect to see over the next few hours. And unfortunately, they do expect this threat to continue for some time as it pushes off to the northeast. And again, this is largely north of our viewing area, which is the good news. But because we've had this confirmation of very large hail in the Greeley area earlier tonight, and that hail core now passed right over Spalding, could be headed for the Petersburg area, which is the live picture you see there of the Highway 14 and 32 interchange right now. We're going to keep an eye on this, because this has been a very potent storm, and obviously at this late hour, some people may have gone to bed and are now being woken up by all the noise and might be wondering what's going on. So we want to keep an eye on this here for a little while as these warnings continue. There you see that second cell moving into the Petersburg area there live on the DOT camera. And we're going to be monitoring this as the stronger hail core now exiting the Spalding area could be headed for the Petersburg area as well. So several severe thunderstorm warnings do remain in effect. All of this is west and northwest of the First Alert 6 viewing area, but we've had some pretty significant reports. It appears now that they have let go of the destructive severe thunderstorm warning for the greater Spalding area. That's certainly some good news. I believe they've updated that. Let me double check that. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect For northeastern Greeley County, 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So it looks like that hail core has weakened considerably. That is great news, but still maintains a threat. That is an old scan, unfortunately. Sometimes these scans do lag behind the reflectivity scans quite a bit, so we'll have to check back in on that. As we zoom out here, not really seeing any indications of concerning rotation. There's certainly broad rotation, but I think that's more indicative of some of the turbulence in the atmosphere and could be a sign of some of the stronger winds. Not sure if these are even reaching the surface, but getting some indications of some stronger wind gusts. But again, no indication that we're going to be seeing a tornado out of these storms at this point. I think that threat is largely over, and we continue to be primarily concerned with some brief wind gusts and some large hail. But the destructive severe thunderstorm warning has come to an end. That's the good news. Right now, there are no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the First Alert 6 area. But again, we're monitoring the Norfolk area and possibly Wayne. These are really the only areas in our viewing area that could be threatened by this. And as a result, we have seen the Severe Thunderstorm Watch be canceled south of Grand Island. And for folks in the Columbus and Fremont area, hopefully you are just about in the clear right now. This watch is scheduled to expire at midnight, so just in about 40 minutes or so. But again, this appears to be the main complex. We're seeing some additional thunderstorms develop well to the northwest of us. There you see non-severe thunderstorms right now developing in north central Nebraska. But again, if you're in the metro area, you're fine to go to bed. No severe weather expected in the metro area, and for much of the area, even in the counties under this severe thunderstorm watch until midnight, with the exception of the far northwestern portion of our viewing area, it looks like the severe weather threat is quickly subsiding for the evening. But certainly some very potent storms just to our northwest, and fortunately we're going to miss out on this. And hopefully, if they're going to maintain their intensity, they're going to do so over some remote areas and we can limit the damage. But unfortunately, we did get some confirmed reports of hailstones in the southwest of Greeley, anywhere from egg to baseball sized. Right now, it's not clear exactly how large of an area was hit by that, but there were some photos posted online that the National Weather Service appeared confident were valid of at least some egg-sized hail, and storm spotters confirmed near baseball-sized hail southwest of Greeley in Greeley County. That is the storm now exiting the Spalding area right now and is now moving into the Petersburg area over the next hour or so. So that's the area we're keeping the closest watch on for any ongoing severe weather activity. But we're beginning to see a weakening trend in these storms. That doesn't mean if you're in the path of these storms, you're out of the woods. We've seen them weaken and re-intensify. And we're also going to be monitoring for the potential shift over from a large hail event to a wind event later this evening. If we zoom back out, I want to put this into motion. And not really getting any signs of any transition to that wind event. That may come later this evening. But as that transition takes place, I still think that it's going to take these storms well to the north of our viewing area. And hopefully we will see the overall threat for severe weather for even the northern part of our viewing area come to an end here very, very soon. Unfortunately, though, this is a pattern that is sort of locked in for the entire week as we're stuck under this dome of hot air that's producing these hot and humid conditions in the metro area and eastern Nebraska, as well as much of the upper Midwest and the Great Plains. But on this northwestern edge of that heat dome, we do carry the potential of showers and thunderstorms like this cropping up most nights after sunset. Right now, it's just going to really depend on where those boundaries set up. We hope that most of these storms will stay northwest of our area, but eventually they will make their way through the area. And so we'll be monitoring some isolated chances of strong thunderstorms over the next several evenings. And then also, unfortunately, if you have plans for your 4th of July, there is still the potential of some showers and thunderstorms that could rain on your fireworks plans or any other gatherings you may have planned for the evening of the 4th. I know that's terrible news because it's on a Saturday this year, but that's something we're going to be keeping a very close watch on as we move through the week and move in closer to the holiday weekend. So there you see the overall motion of these storms. We're seeing this line begin to come together a little more and coalesce around this complex. And so when we see that, we're cautiously optimistic that that will begin to reduce the hail threat as we move over the next hour or two. Could see some strong gusty winds continue, but the storms are moving well to the north of our area, and so I suspect as we get closer here to the midnight hour, the rest of the counties in our viewing area under that severe thunderstorm watch will either be taken out of it or will simply be allowed to expire at midnight tonight. So there's a closer look at this complex we've been keeping an eye on for the last 3 or 4 hours here. I want to zoom in here, and if you see in the upper right portion of the radar image, that's Petersburg. That's where this camera is located at the interchange of highways 14 and 32, where they've been getting some very steady rainfall as cell after cell has kind of rolled over the Petersburg area. Looks like what's remaining of the hail core as it's exiting the Spalding area may pass north of Petersburg. That would be the hope, and we certainly hope that it does not re-intensify, as again these scans kind of lag behind the reflectivity, but getting some indications still of some possibly hail upwards of 1 inch in diameter or larger. Could see some small hail over the Petersburg area as well. We have not seen that translate on the radar, or excuse me, on the live picture we're getting from the the Nebraska Department of Transportation, but you do see another intense cell there producing plenty of lightning and rain. If you're in the Petersburg area and you do like the sound of thunder, then you're probably looking forward to a nice relaxing night, as hopefully the weakening trend of these hail cores continues and the threat will begin to ease off. But there does still remain a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that area. And will continue to be so as we push closer to the midnight hour here in Nebraska. So while we got a moment here, we're going to go ahead and keep this on the screen, but I want to zoom out and kind of go over the warnings we do still have in effect. Again, no warnings in effect for the First Alert 6 viewing area right now, but we're going to start left to right and go through what we have at this time. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 11:45 for northern Greeley County. That storm moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning also in effect for portions of Wheeler County until 11:45 as well. Severe thunderstorm warning also in effect for portions of Antelope and Boone County until midnight this evening. And that severe thunderstorm warning again will continue until midnight. And lastly, severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Antelope and Boone County, southeastern Antelope and northern Boone County until 11:30 this evening. But these storms are beginning to translate north of that warned area, and so hopefully we will see that run its course as these storms are beginning to take a more northerly track. That's good news if you're keeping an eye on these storms in the Norfolk area. You're going to see some showers and thunderstorms in that area over the next hour or so, but hopefully the severe weather is going to stay to your north, and hopefully we continue to see a weakening trend in these storms. But we do still have a hail core right over the Petersburg area where we're looking at this live picture. I want to go ahead and see if we can take a bigger shot of that. There you see at the interchange of highways 14 and 32, still a pretty intense storm falling over that area. We've seen a developing hail core kind of strengthen right over the town. Looks like maybe just northeast of where this camera is located. And so if it does maintain its intensity, people in Tilden and Emmerich, you may be in line for a severe thunderstorm warning here very soon. But again, that is now the strongest hail core now just northeast of where this camera is located, as the the strongest hail core that has exited the Spalding area in Greeley County has weakened considerably. And hopefully that means that we're seeing almost right on cue with what the Storm Prediction Center was estimating. We're seeing the severe weather threat for the evening begin to subside as our Severe Thunderstorm Watch is scheduled to expire now in about 30 minutes for portions of northern Nebraska. All right, we're going to head back into the split here so you can kind of see what we're monitoring. And we're going to have to zoom in here so you can see where this camera is located. So the hail core, I believe, has passed the Petersburg area, so I don't think we're going to see any hail on the camera. That's the good news. We're seeing a developing hail core north of Emmerich now, but still rather small. So I know somebody was asking about the Battle Creek area. Right now, no warning is in effect, but you could see some small hail as a shower and thunderstorm passes near your area. But again, right now, the threat for severe weather really appears to be weakening. However, it does still remain a threat over the next several well, at least for the next 30 minutes to 60 minutes here, as that severe thunderstorm watch will remain in effect until midnight. While we are having some radar issues here, let's go ahead and zoom out. Weather Service did remove, has not removed any additional counties, rather, from this severe thunderstorm watch. They may just be letting it run its course, as it is set to expire now in about 30 minutes. And right now, if we're watching these trends with the potential of maybe a greater wind risk as it pushes north of our area, I don't expect there to be any extension of this severe thunderstorm watch in our viewing area tonight, as these storms are now pushing well to the north now at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. And we have not seen the Weather Service in Omaha issue any warnings for the Norfolk area or points to the west, as these storms have just moved into the northwestern fringe of our viewing area. And fortunately, that destructive severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for portions of Greeley County has been downgraded to just a general, or I believe a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. No, it's a general severe thunderstorm warning until 11:45 this evening. Again, we're keeping an eye on our communication with the National Weather Service as well as the Storm Prediction Center as we are approaching the end of this severe thunderstorm watch. I do suspect that if it does continue in some form for northeast Nebraska, it will likely not include any of our counties, with the exception of one or two fringe counties, as these storms are moving a little more reliably to the north now. With the exception of possibly a little more easterly movement if these become more of a wind threat. But if we take a look, I just want to take a look at that. We're not really getting any... We're getting some indication of some growing wind gusts, actually, in portions of this storm. 50... Again, these are winds aloft. This does not mean these winds are reaching the ground, but we're getting some 50, near 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts being reported aloft in these storms. And so that could be the beginning of this transition from a primarily hail threat to more of a... wind threat, but we're hoping that will actually take place north of our area. However, if you're in the Norfolk, Stanton, Wayne areas, you're not out of the woods yet, as we may be entering a transition period here from these northeastern moving hailstorms to maybe slightly more easterly moving windstorms. But right now, it does appear that these warnings remain in effect primarily for the concern for hail. But we're going to have to see if that transition continues to take place here over the next hour or so. Not getting any indication from the Storm Prediction Center or the National Weather Service. A short time ago, the Weather Service in Omaha says growing concern of flooding potential as these storms track over the same area and back build slightly. And we'll show you what they mean by back build as we put this back into motion. You can see on the left side of this complex, we're seeing some slightly additional development right here. Not anything necessarily that's going to produce severe weather, but could continue to produce some moderate to heavy showers over areas that may have already received an inch or two of rain. And so the National Weather Service is monitoring this area for any potential indications of flash flooding. That is not the case yet, but just raising some concerns that a lot of rain is falling over the same area as these storms have been kind of training on themselves from southwest to northeast. And so that is a secondary concern that the Weather Service is going to be keeping an eye on as these storms continue to push off to the northeast, anywhere between 30 and 40 miles per hour. We'll zoom in a little tighter on these storms. Again, showers and thunderstorms now in the Meadow Grove area, eastward towards the Norfolk area. None of these are considered severe right now. No indication from the National Weather Service that they're going to be issuing a warning, but obviously we'll be keeping an eye on that. And not getting any indication from the Storm Prediction Center that this watch is going to be extended, with the exception of maybe far northeastern Nebraska. But I suspect that this is going to be just about over for most of our viewing area here, as you see the storms well to the north of much of the viewing area, with the exception of Norfolk and Wayne and the far northern portion of the First Alert 6 viewing area. But you can see Humphrey, West Point, Columbus, Fremont, David City, and so on. High and dry right now. Can't rule out a shower or thunderstorm later this evening, but it looks like the severe threat is very quickly subsiding for this area. And so would not be surprised to see this watch not extended for most of the First Alert 6 viewing area once it's set to expire at midnight tonight. Now, it's actually entering another severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for the greater Sioux City area and points north. That watch also scheduled to expire at midnight. So the Storm Prediction Center is going to have to make a decision here, as well as the local weather offices, whether or not they're going to extend this watch for any period of time for any areas. But again, do not expect that for any areas remotely close to the metro area this evening. But again, the good news right now is most of the First Alert 6 viewing area, even most of the county, is now under a severe thunderstorm watch for another 24 minutes, I believe now. We should see this threat largely subside over the next hour, and we will see what the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service decide to do with these watches that are set to expire at midnight tonight. And there you see that complex still beginning to get some signs that this, again, might be trying to transition into more of a wind event. And I'll tell you what I mean. I'm going to switch this over to velocity. And we're seeing some very bright colors here. And that is certainly indicative of a transition to a wind event, as we're seeing winds aloft upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour. And if we switch back to the velocity scan, or excuse me, back to the reflectivity scan, you're seeing what we haven't seen yet tonight, as we saw these globs kind of moving southwest to northeast. Now we're seeing a bit of a smoothing on this side and what could be the beginnings of a bowing shape. So this might be a bit of a concern for the Norfolk area. If this was able to jut a little bit to the south as it continues to the east-northeast, we could see some strong wind gusts in the Norfolk area over the next hour or so, so we'll certainly keep an eye out for that. I want to zoom in a little tighter on this area where we're getting those stronger wind reports on radar. There you see Petersburg, where we have that live picture on the left side of your screen, right in the thick of it right now. Could be seeing some strong wind gusts in that area, but again, these are all wind indicators aloft of 50 to 60 miles per hour. That does not mean that that is the intensity of the winds at the surface. But we have seen a lot of rain, as you can see on the camera there, from the Nebraska Department of Transportation, and now getting some new indications that this may be transitioning from a primarily a hail threat to primarily a wind threat. The question is that threat strong enough to continue portions of the Severe Thunderstorm Watch set to expire now in 20 minutes, or to issue new severe thunderstorm warnings once these expire? Some of these warnings expire at 11:45, others expire at midnight. I know somebody on Facebook was asking about Iowa, with the exception of areas along and north of Sioux City. I do not believe there's much in the way of a threat for severe weather for the state of Iowa tonight. As these, there could still be some showers and thunderstorms, but right now it looks like this is really confined to a corridor from south central, earlier tonight from south central Nebraska upwards towards northeast Nebraska, southeast South Dakota, northwest Iowa, southwest Minnesota. And the eastern progression of these storms is pretty limited just because of the dynamics, as we're kind of in this ring of fire situation with this large heat dome over the central U.S. and storms kind of develop after sunset on the outer edges of this dome. That's kind of why we call it a ring of fire. And these storms tend to follow that arch in a clockwise pattern around the high pressure. And so the eastward and southeastward progression of these storms should be extremely limited, if at all. And so much of Iowa not expected to see any severe weather threat from this. Again, I want to thank everyone who's joining us at this late hour. Nick Weig with you at the Alert Center, First Alert 6 in Omaha. Right now, no warnings are in effect for the First Alert 6 viewing area, but we've been monitoring these storms to our west that at times have produced hailstones upwards of baseball size in areas. And just wanted to provide some coverage as we've been monitoring the threat to portions of our viewing area that fortunately just some isolated warnings in the far northwestern portion of our viewing area earlier this evening, and hopefully it stays that way. But again, we're getting some signs that we may be transitioning from a hail threat to more of a strong damaging wind threat. So we're standing by to see what the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center are going to do with this, because the Severe Thunderstorm Watch for this area is set to expire now in about 20 minutes. We're waiting to see what they do. Now, the Storm Prediction Center about an hour ago, or an hour and a half ago, did advise that the threat would increase and continue for a couple of hours, but didn't indicate if that meant necessarily that they were going to be extending the watch for any areas of Nebraska. So we're standing by to get an update on that from the Storm Prediction Center as well as the National Weather Service office here in Omaha. Again, I want to thank everyone that's been joining us tonight. I want to remind you that if you want to see more coverage like this, both for severe weather, breaking news, live events, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Please follow us on Facebook. Especially if you're subscribing to us on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell icon for notifications when we do go live. We provide live coverage around the clock when events happen, both news and weather, and also additional live analysis on stories of interest to you. So again, I want to thank everybody that's subscribed to our social media platforms, especially on YouTube, where we are going to be crossing the 50,000 mark soon, and we want to thank everyone for your support in that as we've expanded our services here on streaming. As well as on our 24/7 weather channel on your Roku device, or on our website as well if you're watching us there. Again, thanks for joining us as we want to provide some expanded weather coverage beyond what we're able to give you on air. as an added resource that you can turn to in times when the weather threatens. So again, thanks to everybody joining us right now. We really appreciate it, and of course, the best way you can support us is, as always, subscribe and like these videos. The more likes we get on these videos, the more exposure the social media platforms give these videos to our followers for future events. So again, that's the best way to support our efforts here at First Alert 6. And again, I want to thank everybody for your support as we've continued to provide expanded news and weather coverage here on streaming. So as we're approaching the 11:45 mark here in about 1 minute, we should see some of these severe thunderstorm warnings expire. We'll see what the National Weather Service in Omaha does about that. Looks like we're going to get an update. And looks like the Weather Service is saying the same thing I was just talking about. So the National Weather Service just says, starting to see increasing wind potential with the storm in Boone, Antelope counties pushing northeast, downstorm warning incoming. And there you see that warning has just been issued for portions of the First Alert 6 viewing area. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Pierce counties until 12:30 this morning. Severe thunderstorm warning again in effect for portions of Madison, Pierce, Antelope, and Boone counties until 12:30 this evening. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 2 miles east of Oakdale to 6 miles southwest of Tilden, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. Quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds are the primary threat. There you see, and as we've passed the 11:45 mark, our westernmost warning has expired. We do still have the severe thunderstorm warning you see for areas of Petersburg and Logan now set to expire at midnight, and now our new severe thunderstorm warning you see at the center of your screen for areas including just west of Norfolk, and looks like we've lost our towns here for some reason. There we go. Pierce, Tilden, Battle Creek, Meadow Grove now under severe thunderstorm warning until 12:30. Again, large hail, strong damaging winds. We're beginning to see a transition to a damaging wind event. And I'll show you what I mean. We were talking about this about a half hour ago, and we're seeing some strong winds that are beginning to move into portions of this new warned storm. Now, these are the winds that the radar is detecting aloft. It does not mean the winds are reaching the ground, but certainly that is becoming a concern now as we're getting some indication. Whoops, that is not what I wanted. There we go. We've been getting some 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts reported by the radar, detected several thousand feet up above the surface, but some of those could translate to the ground as some brief severe wind gusts. So that is becoming a bit of a greater threat now as opposed to the hail. So severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for portions of Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Pierce counties until 12:30 this morning. So we're going to go ahead and continue our coverage here as we are also awaiting more information from the Storm Prediction Center. But as we were telling you earlier, we were getting indications that this was beginning to transition to maybe a strong wind event, and it looks like that's the case. Now, normally with these evolving storm systems, we see that transition to a wind threat as the storms start moving more easterly or southeasterly rather than the northeast direction we've been watching. But that northeastern direction is likely going to continue as the dynamics in the atmosphere are really pulling these storms to the northeast. These are becoming a little bit more elevated, not as surface-based as they may have been earlier this evening. And so that may hopefully limit the scope of the wind threat tonight, and again, should spare much of the First Alert 6 viewing area from seeing any severe weather, let alone any showers or thunderstorms for that matter. But areas in and around the Norfolk area obviously still could see a strong to severe thunderstorm, as that warning has been issued now until 12:30 tomorrow morning, I should say, but for the next 45 minutes or so. We're going to see if we can find an updated camera in that area. Get you a new look closer to where this new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Okay, we're working to get a camera up here for you. Unfortunately, it looks like it may not be cooperating with us. Let's see if we can get it relocated or reloaded here. We're looking to get a updated camera view from Battle Creek, or near Battle Creek, where the severe thunderstorm warning is headed, and where we're monitoring the potential for some strong wind gusts in this storm. And it looks like the camera, unfortunately, is going to stay out of focus. I don't think we can fix that on our end, unfortunately, but we'll give it a shot. And no, it doesn't appear that we're going to be able to get that in focus. Well, we'll show you what we got at least. We'll take you out to, whoops, there it goes. So this is near the Battle Creek area at the intersection of Highways 121 and 275. This is the area now under a severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of some large hail and some strong wind gusts as well. And unfortunately, as you can see, the camera is very out of focus, so not going to really see a whole heck of a lot in this image. But we'll go ahead and keep it up there for you for a little bit as we keep an eye on these storms. We've zoomed in the radar a little bit, as you can see there. There you see the Battle Creek area right on the leading edge, where we could be seeing some strong wind gusts here shortly. Seeing what could be some rotation now taking shape that we're going to have to keep an eye on. We don't expect any major tornado threats in this area, but a brief spin up with some strong wind gusts certainly possible. But I'm sure the Weather Service is keeping an eye on that one as well, as we'll have to keep a very close eye on that. So what we're talking about is a little bit, whoops. We're seeing a little bit of rotation here with might be a little bit concerning heading towards the Battle Creek area. Again, this camera is just north of that. Rotation or not, at this point I would suspect that strong winds or a brief tornado spin up would carry the same potential for strong damaging winds, as it's getting a little bit more muddled there. But there could be seeing some strong wind gusts on that leading edge there as it's moving to the northeast. Camera's moving around in the Battle Creek area right now. Hopefully when it comes to a rest, it'll come to a rest in better focus, as we're seeing some of the views there of that intense lightning and rain that's beginning to fall in that area. I'm going to switch back to hail core. Not really seeing. There's some isolated hail cores near Emmerich and Battle Creek we'll keep an eye out for. But again, zoom in a little tighter on this. There you see Meadow Grove on the left side of the radar image, Battle Creek. And real quickly here, for now that we hopefully, maybe we'll stay on this. No, we're not going to stay on that image. Hopefully, if whatever we stay on, it'll stay in focus this time. But just to give you an idea, as the new sweep comes in, see that circle I'm drawing right there? That's where that camera is located that you see on your screen. And so we're kind of right in the thick of it right now as we're keeping an eye on this severe thunderstorm moving through the area. And again, a severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect for this area until 12:30 this, Tuesday morning for Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Pierce counties. So we're going to go ahead and keep this image up on the screen. We're kind of bouncing between all of the different radar scans that we have available to us. There you see there's some pockets of possible small to large hail that could be moving through the area. We're also keeping an eye on the wind gusts in this area as we're getting indications of some stronger winds that could be translating down to the ground, producing some some stronger wind gusts over by between Meadow Grove and Emmerich, getting upwards of 70 miles per hour aloft. Now, this is a long ways from the radar, so these wind reports are coming in pretty high up in the atmosphere, and so that's why we're getting some of these strong wind indications on radar, but we're not really seeing it in the camera images so far. Hopefully that trend will continue, but certainly the potential is there, at least for some strong damaging wind gusts capable of taking down trees and producing additional damage. There you see highways 121 and 275. The intersection just north of Battle Creek is the area we're monitoring right now. We'll go ahead and draw that here on the screen. That is where the camera is located in relation to the storm. And so we're seeing some intense downpours, some extremely vivid lightning now in that area. It's really hard to make out if we're seeing any strong winds in the area, but the camera itself not really rocking around, so that's a good sign. We are getting some indications in this area of winds upward anywhere between 50 to 75 miles per hour, but again, that's aloft. That doesn't mean those winds are translating down to the ground, and this is quite a distance away from the radar site, so it really is going to rely on storm spotters that are now out in this area to confirm any severe weather reports. Checking in with the weather station near Newman Grove just 1 minute ago reported a wind gust of 80 miles per hour. So near Newman Grove, 80 mile per hour wind gust reported. That's concerning, and I would not be surprised to see the Weather Service potentially upgrade this warning to either considerable or destructive. That's going to be a decision they're going to have to make. As I'm going to zoom out this a little bit. 80 mile per hour wind gust just reported northeast of Newman Grove. Let's see if we can pull that up here. There's Meadow Grove. And not... I suppose that would have been a typo. Okay. So that wind report I apologize for moving the camera around, or the radar image around so much. Let's see if I can get our image back here. Nope. So Newman Grove, that is where we received an 80 mile per hour wind report. Not really seeing that on radar, so I'm not sure how dated that report was that the Weather Service just reported, but we're going to have to see if that leads them to upgrade this warning at all. Right now, not indicating an upgrade, and they haven't done it yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for this area until 12:30 this morning. As we're just about to cross the midnight hour here in Omaha. But again, no severe weather expected for the metro area. Our severe thunderstorm watch slated to expire here unless the Weather Service decides to extend that, or the Storm Prediction Center goes ahead and replaces it with a new severe thunderstorm watch. We'll be monitoring that potential as well. And it looks like, yes, they have issued a new severe thunderstorm watch that will remain in effect until 4 o'clock this morning. This does include the Norfolk area, which is right on the edge of this severe thunderstorm warned area around the Battle Creek area, including Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Pierce counties until 12:30 this morning. You're looking at a live picture of the Highway 121-275 interchange near Battle Creek, right in the heart of this severe thunderstorm. There was a report of an 80 mile per hour wind gust from a weather station southwest in near, I believe it was Newman Grove, not Meadow Grove, Newman Grove, southwest of this location, as we're seeing that intense cell now moving over the camera site here just north of Battle Creek. And so this is the point that we want to keep a very close eye on this. Again, the camera located right here on the radar image, and right in the thick of it. That 80 mile per hour wind gust report certainly concerning, but so far the Weather Service has not, and it looks like they are upgrading this severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Madison and Pierce County. This is now a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, I believe, for wind gusts upwards of 70 miles per hour. This is moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm located along a line extending from 7 miles east of Meadow Grove to 3 miles east of Battle Creek. There you see the new considerable severe thunderstorm warning scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Again, the storm is moving to the east now, east at 55 miles per hour. So Norfolk is next in line for this now primarily threatened of a wind-producing severe thunderstorm. We're going to go ahead and go back to the radar full here, and I'm going to see if we can get another camera in that area. I don't think we have a lot in that area. We'll get that off the screen there. But there you see the considerable severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. In this, you see the boulder polygon now. This is the same warning that had been issued about 15 minutes ago. It has just been upgraded to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, primarily for the risk of strong damaging winds. Our camera in the Battle Creek area really getting pounded by wind and rain right now, but completely being obscured either by the wind or possibly just the blurriness of the image. We can't really make anything out on it right now, but there could be some very intense winds going on there right now. In fact, Mel, let's try and go back to that. There you see, we lost the image here briefly. It keeps bouncing back and forth, so we're going to go ahead and zoom back out here. We'll get the radar back up on the screen for you. There you see, it looks like our camera may be just obscured by the intense wind and rain there right now that is falling over the, just north of the Battle Creek area. Right in the thick of this cell right here. So very, very intense returns coming in, getting indications on radar of winds upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour aloft. And now there was a report of an 80 mile per hour wind gust in Newman Grove, southwest of this area. And now these intense winds apparently have made their way to the DOT, the Nebraska DOT camera site. You see there just north of Battle Creek at that intersection. And occasionally I think we can make out the roadway. Looks like some headlights in the distance. And so, yeah, this is a very intense wind event now taking place over the Battle Creek area right now. Can't really make much else out from the lightning flashes, but occasionally when the stream does a little bit better, we're seeing some very intense winds blowing that rain around right now. And so certainly not a good situation for any high-profile vehicles that may be out on the roadway right now, as you see some traffic making its way towards the camera. Again, this is just north of Battle Creek. You see it there on the radar image on the right and the live image from the Nebraska Department of Transportation on your left. Very intense. Couldn't really make out anything on the camera here for several minutes, but you can now get a better image there to see just the kind of winds that are blowing around in that area. And this has prompted the upgrade to that considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Now we have a new warning, a flash flood warning that has been issued for portions of Antelope and Boone counties. We'll get to that here in just a moment. This is going to be just west of the severe thunderstorm warning we're keeping our eyes on right now. But again, this is for several inches of rain that have fallen. Upwards of 2 inches of rain have fallen. And with the general track of these storms, we expect that upwards of 1 to 2 additional inches could fall over a short period of time. So portions of Antelope and Boone County now under a flash flood warning until 3 o'clock this morning. Flash flood warning for portions of Antelope and Boone County until 3 o'clock this morning. So if you're in that area, your phone is likely going to go off to alert you to that flash flood warning. But right now we're focused in on the Battle Creek area, as you see there, where some intense lightning, rain, and wind in association with this considerable severe thunderstorm warning blowing through that area. Hopefully not producing any damage, but with all the rain that's fallen, softening up the ground, there certainly could be damage produced by winds in excess of 60 miles per hour or 70 miles per hour is the concern right now, after Newman Grove reported a 80 mile per hour wind gust just a short time ago as the storm made its way through that area. Ashley over on Facebook says the winds are insane in Battle Creek now. Yeah, Ashley, we're certainly seeing that on the camera. Hopefully you're still in your shelter right now. Hopefully things will be letting up here in the next 20 minutes or so. But as the core of the storm now moving off to the east, approaching the Norfolk area, west of the Norfolk area, and hopefully Ashley and everyone else in the Battle Creek area are going to get through this without any major damage in that area, but we will have to see, as it may be a little hard to determine what exactly happened tonight until the sun comes up tomorrow morning. But certainly, as you saw there on the camera over the last 10 minutes or so, some very intense winds in the Battle Creek area. Just southwest of there, this considerable severe thunderstorm warning was issued after a report of 80 mile an hour winds in the Newman Grove area. Let's see if we can't think things are beginning to let up there. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back to live first alert radar here and see if we have any other cameras in that area as the storm is moving off to the east now at about 50 miles per hour, quickly exiting the warned area. So we're going to zoom out here as we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued because of this storm's now accelerated movement. And so severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Cumming, Stanton, and Wayne counties. Cumming, Stanton, and Wayne counties, severe thunderstorm warning until 12:45 this morning. Severe thunderstorms located along a line extending from 5 miles north of Battle Creek to 4 miles west of Norfolk to 7 miles north of Madison to 9 miles northeast of Lindsay, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Quarter-sized hail and 70 mile per hour wind gusts are the primary threats at this time. We're going to work to see if we can get another camera for you here, as the Battle Creek camera is showing conditions slowly but surely improving in that area. Hopefully that will continue. And we're going to try and get the camera going here. Looks like we may have lost our signal with that camera, so we're going to try and get things back up and running. Yeah, it looks like we've lost our radar data. Let's switch over to the wind velocity, and there you see southwest of Norfolk, a really concerning sign of some wind gusts in that area. Really picking up some intense wind signatures there. And that is not the scan that I wanted. It's certainly picking up some winds aloft in excess of 70 miles per hour, and it looks like we've lost our camera image. We're going to try and get a camera going in that area because that is not only concerning for areas south of Norfolk and Highway 81, but also the Stanton area. You are next in line for what is becoming a bit of a very narrow Boeing segment that is now has a history of producing wind gusts upwards of 80 miles per hour. So we're going to try and get see if we got any more DOT cameras in that area, because they are really our best resource, along with any reports you can pass along as to what's going on out there. Doesn't appear the cameras want to cooperate with us at this time, unfortunately. No, they do not want to cooperate. see if we can get this working one way or the other, because we are... Cameras are not cooperating with us right now. Here's our camera system is locked up right now. We cannot... It's not cooperating with us, unfortunately. Oh, that is not good. So it appears we may have lost our ability to communicate with the NDOT cameras. We're going to try and get that back, as the situation south of Norfolk is certainly concerning according to radar. We're getting some really, Warnerville right now, some really concerning indications there of some potentially extremely strong wind gusts in that area. I'm going to try and zoom in on this area here. We're getting some... Got to get these warnings out of here. Getting some very intense readings on radar of some winds aloft, upwards of 100 miles per hour in the Warnerville area. And as you can see, it looks like, hopefully this will make this short-lived, but you can kind of see this line now sticking out of the warning right here, and that is the outflow beginning to eject out ahead of it, and that may be why we're all of a sudden seeing some very intense wind reports on radar. Really going to zoom in tight on this. The Warnerville Highway 81 corridor. This is not a good sign. No updated reports from the National Weather Service in Omaha on this storm. Really curious if there's any storm spotters up in that area, what they're seeing. I do appreciate everybody providing your reports. Leslie over on YouTube, east side of Norfolk here, just rain currently and thunder. Kira asking about if you're going to be okay in an apartment. Kira, I think so. Looks like the strongest winds are passing south of Norfolk at this time. The main thing is with winds like this, just make sure that you're in a safe place in your apartment. Make sure you're away from any windows, and you should be fine. Kira, I know you did also said that there was hail there. Let us know how big that hail was. Sirens going off in Norfolk. That's a good idea. Those are the outdoor warning sirens. That does not mean there's a tornado. Those are outdoor warning sirens. So don't think that because you hear sirens that means that there's a tornado. It looks like the strongest winds are passing south of the Norfolk area right now. Warnerville areas in the surrounding area right now at the greatest risk from this thunderstorm. And I really appreciate the reports from all of you. Levi on the east side of Norfolk reporting lots of wind pretty strong. Yeah, that certainly coincides with what we're seeing on radar. Some very strong winds in that area. And we are just not able to get a camera up and running, unfortunately. We're going to keep trying, though, as we said, this has transitioned from a large hail to a strong damaging wind event. Let's see if we can get this working. It has not... been cooperating, unfortunately, but there's not much we can do about that. So there you see Madison and Pierce. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning continues until 12:45 this morning. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of winds upwards of 70 miles per hour. Looks like we may have lost our data. Let's see if we can't get that back here. And we're really focusing in on the velocity scans here. No, the good news is we're not seeing any indication of any widespread debris. So that would put us at ease a little bit for any rotation, but we're getting some signatures right along Highway 81 between Norfolk and Warnerville of some very, very intense winds aloft. Now that doesn't mean that they're translating down to the ground, but that's a very, very concerning sign of some of the intense winds as we're seeing this become more what we call outflow dominant. We've seen that outflow boundary kind of eject away from the storm, and so that is what's really accelerated these winds suddenly. But not getting any new reports from the National Weather Service. Again, I appreciate everybody with your reports in the Norfolk area. Mason over on YouTube says quarter-sized hail in Norfolk. So that's 1-inch diameter hail. That's kind of what the Weather Service was expecting. Hopefully all of your sensitive items were indoors or sheltered, because that can put some dents and dings in some vehicles and other items left outside. Seeing some very intense winds on the south side of Norfolk, according to radar in the Warnerville area. It's going to go ahead and switch back over to precipitation mode here. And there you see, this is what we're talking about, this outflow boundary situation. So we see this when we're seeing this kind of eject off the storm. This is kind of an outflow boundary, and as this is pulling away from the storm, that's likely what pulled those winds and really intensified those winds in and around the Norfolk area just within the last 15 minutes. One of our viewers over on YouTube, the wind is ripping east of Norfolk. Yeah, we're seeing that on the scans right now, and that is you know, as we're looking, that you said east of Norfolk, that's right of this area where that outflow boundary ejected. And so that is one of those little indicators that tell us that there are some very intense winds now in that that portion of the storm. And we're seeing that here on the velocity scans. I really want to focus on these velocity scans because you can see east of Norfolk right now, Highway 24, Highway 275, real intense wind signatures aloft. Boy, those overlays are really causing a problem for me tonight. So we're getting anywhere from, let's switch over here to base velocity. There we go. 70, 65, and near 80 mile per hour winds aloft being reported. Now again, these are the winds aloft. Doesn't mean that that's the winds at the surface, but as widespread as they are, that's certainly a concerning sign that there's some very intense winds likely reaching the surface in areas here. And certainly from what everyone in that area is telling us online, that certainly seems to be the case. We were trying to get some DOT cameras in that area to work, but it appears we've lost our connection with those DOT cameras. We're going to try and find a backup option here. And we unfortunately don't really have any cameras in that area, in the Stanton area or the Norfolk area. Boy. So I really appreciate all the reports you guys are providing us, because that really comes in handy. Did get a report from local emergency management of pea-sized hail in Woodland Park. That's in Stanton County, winds of about 45 to 50 miles per hour. Weather Service confirming several reports of damaging wind gusts in and around Norfolk, as you've all been telling us up in that area. Wind-driven hail upwards of 1.5 inch in diameter so far. Watching rotation on the north side very closely. We were monitoring that as well. We're not seeing it become any more organized, so that's the good news. But there is some rotation on the leading edge of this, and as that outflow continues to eject out, we'll have to keep an eye on that for a potential brief spin-up. But widespread winds are certainly capable of producing just as much, if not more, damage than a brief tornado. Looks like, is this the confirmed report? This is an automated report from a wind sensor in Norfolk. I'm trying to... Bear with me as I try and get this. So... the official sensor in Norfolk reported a 56 knot wind gust. That's about 64 miles per hour, if my math is serving me correctly. So a 64 mile per hour wind gust confirmed from the sensor in Norfolk, from the, I believe that's the ASOS sensor there. Obviously, in a more populated area like that, that raises the concern of some potentially widespread damage. Let's put the radar in motion, and you can see what's happened over the last hour. And actually, I want to stop this. And you see that line we've been talking about out ahead of the storm really taking shape? That's where we're seeing the winds accelerate. And you kind of see as it moves towards Norfolk, you see it kind of swing upwards, almost counterclockwise up into the community, really blasting those winds through. And that continued kind of rotation may have been why there was some concern about maybe a brief spin up in that area. You see the severe thunderstorm warnings being extended to the north on the northern side of this line, but obviously this is the area now of primary concern for some pretty intense winds in that area. Zoom back out here. There we go. So this is the main area of concern from Norfolk, which apparently has received at least 64 mile per hour winds within the last few minutes. Again, I know a lot of you are joining us from that area, and I do appreciate you joining us because your reports are really helping us kind of tell the story of what's going on there, because we've lost our connection to the DOT cameras, and I know the cameras in that area are pretty limited. So we really do appreciate that. Hopefully everybody's okay, and I know it may be hard to see, but obviously, hopefully all of your property is okay as well. There you see at the bottom of the screen that new warning we were telling you about on the northern side, a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Cedar, Pierce, and Wayne counties. This will remain in effect until 1 o'clock this morning for that severe thunderstorm, now capable of producing winds upwards of 70, 80 miles per hour and ping-pong ball-sized hail, as there were reports in and around Norfolk of blowing hail upwards of 1.5 inches in diameter in 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. So that is a real mess that could have done some significant damage in that area early this morning. So hopefully everybody that's been joining us up there is okay, and hopefully you have been able to avoid any damage in your area. Kira over on Facebook, no more hail, definitely can confirm about the pea-sized and ping-pong-sized hail. Yeah, thanks for the update there, Kira. It's really ramped up just as it was heading into the Norfolk area. It looked like it was going to largely go south, and then of course that once that outflow kind of kicked out, that kind of swung everything up to the north, and then here we are. And So it's amazing how quickly things can change like that in an instant. So that's why this area does remain under a severe thunderstorm watch until 4 a.m. I want to back out here and show you that right now as more counties from the midnight watch have been removed, and this is really the main line of concern right now. So once this eventually gets through, we're going to be able to wrap things up here. But it's just being very persistent up in that area. And now some reports of potentially widespread wind reports in the Norfolk area. And next question will be is what type of damage did that cause in that area? It's a little early to start talking about power outages, but just want to kind of check in that area. Not getting any confirmed reports of power outages in association with the storms right now, any widespread power outages. But if you're experiencing any power outages in that area, please let us know, as that really helps us out. Let's go ahead and I'm going to switch back here to velocity. And we're still seeing right along that 275 corridor some pretty intense wind gusts. Between Norfolk and Stanton along Highway 275, as that severe thunderstorm warning there does continue. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for 1.5-inch diameter hail and 70 mile per hour winds. 70 mile per hour wind gusts in association with this storm. Mason, glad to hear you're okay up there. My power went out for a minute and came back on. Well, that's always good news. Obviously losing power, especially because I don't think this rain is really going to provide any relief from the heat and humidity that we're dealing with. You can look at the bottom right of your screen. Obviously no thunderstorms here in the metro area, but still it's almost 12:30 in the morning. It's 86 degrees right now in the metro area. We are not getting any relief from the heat this week, and now we're dealing with the energy produced from the heat and the instability in the atmosphere is producing these storms, unfortunately impacting parts of the First Alert 6 viewing area, and hopefully damage. We'd like to say the damage is non-existent in the area, but if it is, hopefully it is isolated at best, because we don't want to see any damage from these storms, especially in the middle of the night when many people may have been caught off guard by these storms if they had already head to bed. So again, really want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I really appreciate everybody up in the greater Norfolk area providing your reports on what's happening up there, as you guys are really our eyes and ears on what's going on in that area. Kira again over on Facebook. I have a friend who lives in between Warnerville and Norfolk, can confirm he did have high winds and a couple branches fell in his backyard. Thanks for the report. Yeah, hopefully they were small branches and didn't do any damage, because we don't want to hear about any significant damage from these storms, because they were certainly capable of producing damage. And in this instance, unfortunately, this is the area that kind of fell victim to it, and we would like to find out that the damage, if it did occur, was limited. Wayne, you are next in line for this rapidly accelerating wind-driven storm that's still capable of producing some large hail. Let's switch back over to the hail detector, and oh my goodness, yes. That is an intense hail core for a storm also producing strong winds. There in the Hoskins, almost back towards Pierce, a very intense hail core there. I believe it was, excuse me. There we go. Yeah, getting upwards of 2-inch diameter hail detected aloft. That is not good, because if this is the same general area where you're seeing strong wind gusts, and we are, that's where we've been getting reports of wind-driven hail, and that is really bad, especially when it comes to potential damage to homes and siding. Wind-driven hail is not what you want to be dealing with right now. So let's go ahead and back out here. I'm going to switch back over to live First Alert radar. There you see everything really confined to northeastern Nebraska right now, and it's going to stay that way. Obviously, we could see some showers and thunderstorms touch off this outflow boundary. That's why, if we zoom back out here, that's why you do see some of these counties still under a severe thunderstorm watch until 4 a.m., but we do not, repeat, do not expect any severe weather in the Omaha metro area tonight. or this morning, I should say now. It is going to be confined to the northeastern part of Nebraska, and right now that is the primary concern. Is this has been not just transition. I shouldn't say transitioning to a wind event. It's now producing some very strong winds, but it is still capable of producing some very large hail. In fact, these hail indicators on radar are size almost 2.5 inches in diameter aloft. That is massive hail that could be falling in very strong winds, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, and that can cause a lot of damage if that falls over a particular area. So a very significant situation here, and that is why we're seeing all of these considerable severe thunderstorm warnings being issued. And if you're in the greater, in and around the Wayne area, you are next in line. You need to be seeking shelter right now, as this storm is going to very quickly be bearing down on you in the Wayne area. Okay. As we have now reached the 12:30 mark of your Tuesday morning now, Nick Weig here with you at the Alert Center at First Alert 6 in Omaha, as we're continuing to monitor a very strong complex of showers and thunderstorms in northeastern Nebraska, producing wind gusts upwards of 80 miles per hour, has a history of producing hailstones upwards of baseball-sized, extremely large hail reported, and now unfortunately some indications of some wind-driven hail in and around the Norfolk area that could have caused some significant damage. We are still working to get information on that. Again, I appreciate everybody providing reports on what you're seeing. Don't expect anyone to be looking for damage right now at this late hour. It may be hard to see anything right now, especially until we get to daylight in the morning. But really appreciate your reports so far. Very, very much appreciate it. And hopefully everybody up there is okay after this very strong thunderstorm moved through the area and continues to threaten now, bearing down on the Wayne area, where a considerable severe thunderstorm warning does continue for the potential of wind gusts upwards of 70 miles per hour and 1.5 inch to 2 inch diameter hail. Really still getting some incredibly intense returns on radar, both as far as it comes to the hail detection. There you see west of Wayne, upwards of 2 inch diameter hail being detected by radar, and then also some pretty intense wind gusts. And I'm running the loop here. You can see what happened as you see that outflow boundary kind of set up right as it entered Norfolk and really accelerated things right over the town. And that has continued. Hopefully we're going to see those winds come down a little bit now, but still rather intense winds still being detected by radar. And so the Wayne area and areas south, from Wayne down to Pilger and the Highway 275 corridor down to Stanton, some very intense winds still remain on the docket here over the next hour or so as this severe thunderstorm continues to roll across northeast Nebraska. Beyond the new warnings, no updates from the National Weather Service on any other additional wind, hail, or damage reports. I would like to chalk that up to good news, but unfortunately because of the late hour, there may be some damage out there that we don't learn about until daylight. So certainly can continue to hope for the best, but obviously we'll have to see what we can learn come daybreak in that area. Again, I want to thank the hundreds of you still joining us on YouTube, Facebook, our 24/7 streaming weather channel, as well as TikTok, and all of our streaming platforms. Nick Weig here with you at the Alert Center at First Alert 6 in Omaha, as we are continuing to follow this severe weather tracking through northeastern Nebraska at this early morning hour. Considerable severe thunderstorm warnings you see there on your screen continue for about the next 30 minutes or so in various areas. There you see one of the warnings now set to expire at 12:45. The considerable severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Cummings, Stanton, and Wayne. You see that scrolling at the bottom of your screen. We also have storm reports from the last 3 hours scrolling at the top of your screen, as well as the latest 24-hour hail and wind reports coming in from Nebraska and Iowa today. Those are undoubtedly going to be rising as the reports we've been receiving from you and the National Weather Service get processed by the Storm Prediction Center. Just getting another update from the National Weather Service in Omaha. 2-inch hail reported in Hoskins. 2-inch hail reported in Hoskins, and that's that hail core we've been showing you, unfortunately, that when it passed through the Hoskins area. Let's see if we can zoom back in here so you can see Hoskins. Come on, Hoskins. There you go. So this is the hail core that passed through Hoskins. Now over Windside, this produced egg-sized hail, 2-inch diameter hail in Hoskins just a short time ago. And that is now headed for the Wayne area. It is right over the Highway 35 corridor in the Windside area. 2-inch diameter hail has fallen in association with this hail core, egg-sized hail. That can cause a lot of damage, and we'll have to see what the Weather Service decides to do with this warning. But again, they already have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning out for the storm, as we're seeing strong winds, especially on the southern side of the storm, and then this very intense hail core now just outside the Wayne area that could be producing some significant damage. Looks like, as you see, we're getting an update at the bottom of your screen on that severe thunderstorm warning with that 2-inch hail report. The severe thunderstorm is located along a line extending from near Wayne to 8 miles southwest of Wakefield to 7 miles northeast of Pilger to 5 miles southwest of Wisner, moving east at 50 miles per hour. So the I-15 corridor, Wayne, people in the greater Wayne area, you're out of time. This hail and this wind is on you right now. So it's too late to go save anything outside. Just make sure that you seek shelter appropriately and stay away from any windows or any other exposed areas as this storm system moves through at this early morning hour. We did get somebody asking on TikTok if there's any tornadoes happening. No tornadoes happening. This began as a hail threat, and now has transitioned to I want to say transition to a wind threat, but we're getting wind-driven hail reports in some cases. So the hail threat is still there. We just got a 2-inch hail report, so really concerned about the potential for widespread damage here over this area between Norfolk upwards of Wayne, where this storm has really accelerated over the last hour and really caused some problems at this early morning hour. And I do apologize. I don't know if this is in an area now of any Nebraska Department of Transportation cameras. We have had it looks like an issue with some of our computer equipment, and we have been unable to access those cameras. And unfortunately, at this late hour, it's kind of hard to troubleshoot what's going on. But I assure you that we do keep trying the system to see if it will come back and respond to us. Unfortunately, it just has not done that yet. And boy, I wish it would, because as the storm system really began to accelerate over the Battle Creek area, that was when we saw some incredibly intense winds. And at the very least, I hope that gave the folks in the Norfolk area time to prepare and realize that this was a serious storm headed their way, because it certainly acted as such. And We will, unfortunately, lost access to those cameras. We'll try and get them back when we can. But let's see if there's another avenue to get those up and running. Don't believe so.
Not realizing this was pediatric DR. Patient is awake, somewhat alert, language barrier of Spanish. Last set of vitals we got from DR staff is 130/85, a heart rate for 62, 100% of room air, and blood sugar of 105. Making a code to ETA is approximately 1 minute.
And we're not getting any of the cameras to cooperate with us, unfortunately. So I do apologize for that. We are beginning to get some sporadic outage reports up in this area of Wayne County. Not getting any widespread outage reports as of yet. Hopefully that trend will continue. But just some very isolated outages reported in the Pierce and Wayne County areas right now. And it looks like we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued, so we'll get that information here for you. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here. And so the Weather Service now trying to get well out ahead of this accelerating line. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Cummings, Stanton, Thurston, and Wayne counties until 1:30 this morning. Severe thunderstorms located along a line extending from near Dixon to 8 miles west of Pender to 2 miles north of Wisner, moving east at 50 miles per hour. 2-inch diameter hail and 70 mile per hour winds are possible. And now you see an extension further to the northeast west of Sioux City, a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is just a general severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Dakota and Dixon County until 1:30 this morning. 60 mile per hour winds and 1-inch diameter hail are the primary threats with this warning. But further to the south, on the southern half of this severe thunderstorm, that is the main concern right now. As we've lost our radar image again, let's see if we can get that back here. And there you see the last 2 hours. Still getting some strong wind gusts, but that hail core now beginning to really take over in the Wayne area. And that is a pretty intense hail core once again, now detecting upwards of near 2-inch in diameter hail aloft between Carroll and Wayne. So the hits just keep on coming as the storm has begun to accelerate to the east-northeast now and is just about out of the first Alert 6 viewing area. That's the good news. I do want to remind you, we do have this flash flood warning that was issued for portions of Antelope and Boone counties, primarily for the Petersburg area, which we were watching earlier this evening. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area, but upwards of 2 inches of rain fell, and upwards of 2 inches in additional rain would fall. So a flash flood warning remains in effect for this area until 3 o'clock this morning. This is radar indicated, but again, if you are venturing out and you see water over the roadway, the old adage, turn around, don't drown. It does not take a lot of water to sweep away a vehicle. And there you see that the outflow boundary kind of ejecting away from this storm complex. Hopefully that will help reduce the threat of strong winds. As it pushes through the rest of the viewing area, we may see a shower fire up, may get a strong wind gust or two, but nothing that should produce any significant damage or anything like that. Again, the severe threat for the metro area and even the greater area around that, Tacoma, Fremont, Wahoo, Columbus, the threat for severe weather has come to an end. essentially. If we zoom back out here, you can see that they've really scaled back that severe thunderstorm watch. That does remain in effect until 4 o'clock, but as these storms exit the area, we do expect that watch to be allowed to expire as these storms push off north and east of the Sioux City area. All right, back now to live first alert radar. You see additional thunderstorms. Actually, let's go ahead and zoom that back out. So if you know anybody up in this area, you're seeing some additional thunderstorms beginning to develop ahead of this, and there's a new warning being issued in South Dakota and extreme northwest Iowa. So that may be also responsible for why these storms still very strong at this time, but could begin losing some of their punch as they are now competing with some new storms in the area, but still a very potent storm, capable of producing winds upwards of 70 miles per hour, and has a very recent history of egg-sized hail, about 2 inches in diameter. And we certainly hope that there's been no major damage up in northeast Nebraska from these storms as they have rolled through the area. Getting some additional sporadic outages in the Wayne County area. No data from some of the surrounding counties. We're working to get more information on that, but just a few hundred people without power in eastern Nebraska, and it appears most of that is not related to these thunderstorms, but again, we'll continue to monitor that if any more significant power outages are reported. So right now, the main focus of concern is the Wayne area, where that hail core and those strong winds are now bearing down on the area. Again, the hail scan generally lags a little bit behind the reflectivity scan, so it shows the hail core west of Wayne. I suspect that's right on top of the city right now, pushing off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So if you're in the Wakefield area, you're probably just starting to experience some strong wind gusts on the leading edge of this. It is going to get intense. We're switch back over to lightning detector, and yeah, this is still quite a lightning producer over the last 15 minutes or so. Getting well over 500 strikes in the area over the last 15 minutes. That is a lot of lightning. So very intense, very noisy, and certainly that could contribute to a real rough night if you're a light sleeper, as well as, unfortunately, continuing the threat for additional power outages as we move through the next hour or so for this area. There you see the severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect. Those in effect for portions of the First Alert 6 viewing area are considerable severe thunderstorm warnings that do extend all the way down to Wisner and Bancroft, eastward towards Macy, Winnebago, and then as well as the Pender area. As this storm continues to push off to the east at around 50 miles per hour. The main area of concern is going to be between Springbank and Emerson, where we're seeing some more of that intense bowing structure taking shape. As we zoom out, we see additional showers and thunderstorms have developed behind this, but they are largely going to be tracking just to the north of the path that these storms took. So areas south and east, even some of these counties that still remain under a severe thunderstorm watch, that threat is really quickly subsiding for your area. And again, no severe weather of any kind expected for the Omaha metro area as well. Parker over on Facebook reports dime-sized hail in Wayne. Parker, thanks for that report. Yeah, that would certainly coincide with what we're seeing on radar, unfortunately. Hopefully you've got all of your sensitive items and vehicles indoors and you don't have to worry about any damage. But certainly dime-sized hail is below severe limits, but hopefully that's as big as it gets, and everyone up there will be able to get a little bit of sleep here in the not-too-distant future, although I think, I suspect you may still be seeing some rumbles of thunder up there for a while. Hopefully, however, the severe threat will slowly begin to subside here as the main energy pushes off to the east, and we can see things kind of ease up here across the area. Kind of rocking the radar back and forth so you can see that outflow boundary that ejected right over the Norfolk area when things really got going. And that is now, as it gets out ahead of the storm, you're seeing the storm kind of weaken in terms of intensity. but still maintains a pretty intense hail core right now. Hopefully that will begin to change, and hopefully those strong winds will begin to ease off as well. You do see further to the west there is a severe thunderstorm warning for the backside of this complex. Hopefully these storms will continue to overall track a little bit more northerly and will stay out of our area. But for folks up in the northern part of the First Alert 6 viewing area, showers and thunderstorms could persist off and on through the overnight hours as this complex continues to push through the area and continues to mount a number of hail and wind reports that we're getting. Just checking in with the National Weather Service in Omaha. No new reports from the Weather Service since that latest warning was issued. You see there south and east of Wayne. I'll zoom in on that here. And so this is to cover the southern portion of this intense severe thunderstorm. As we said, the Pender area is involved in this as this severe thunderstorm warning, this considerable severe thunderstorm warning will continue. The considerable warning for Cedar, Pierce, and Wayne, as you see on the bottom of your screen, is now set to expire here in about 10 minutes at 1 o'clock as these storms continue to move to the east anywhere from 35 to 50 miles per hour. As we are approaching the 1 o'clock hour, we'll be getting an update from the Storm Prediction Center on any thunderstorm chances for Tuesday evening. We've been kind of keeping an eye on this as the threat for strong storms will continue in relatively the same area, we suspect, as the heat of the day that really prevents any thunderstorms from developing eventually gives way to the dynamics of the atmosphere after the sun sets. And so we saw a marginal to slight risk for severe weather on your Monday, yesterday, for the area where these storms have developed. And that at 8 o'clock last night was upgraded to a enhanced risk as these storms were beginning to take shape. And unfortunately, that risk did come true. And we saw this outbreak of severe weather over the last several hours from central Nebraska up to northeast Nebraska since about 8 or 9 o'clock last night. So coming up in just a few minutes, we should get an update from the Storm Prediction Center on kind of what they're expecting for your Tuesday. Again, a lot of heat and humidity. We don't expect any severe weather during the day, but we could see some showers and thunderstorms develop kind of along the same area. Depending on how things set up after tonight, we could see some more showers and thunderstorms in a similar setup in a similar area. And we'll... Oh. There we go. Sorry about that, having some audio issues on our end. So we'll get that update here in the next few minutes, and we'll stick around for that. And hopefully we'll begin to see some of these warnings begin to expire. Again, you see the severe thunderstorm, well, we lost a radar image again. Severe thunderstorm warning does continue for portions of Cumming, Wayne, and Thurston and Stanton counties until 1:30 in the morning. And the storm does continue to move off to the east at 50 miles per hour. Let's see if we can get our radar data back. There we go. Really seeing things beginning to weaken a bit. That's good news. Still have those hail cores around the Wayne area. Although I suspect they're now east of that area along the 35 corridor as the storms are pushing off to the east. We're seeing a little bit of weakening, especially on the south side. That's good news. But for people in that area, hopefully you don't mind a little bit of thunder at night, because you may be seeing a little more of that as we push through the evening hours, or the early morning hours, I should say. As we put this in motion here, you can see the storms, even though they kind of look like they're setting up along a line that's going to push through the viewing area, they're still drifting off to the northeast, and hopefully that, if as long as that trend continues, we're not going to see a lot of precipitation in the First Alert 6 viewing area. Certainly not going to see it anywhere near the Omaha metro area, as you can see. But northeast Nebraska could be in for a bumpy night for a while as these storms make their way across, and hopefully after the next hour or so, we will see them hopefully start to fall below severe limits, which is what we would like to see at this late hour or early hour, depending on if your personal schedule. So we are going to see some of these warnings begin to expire. We've seen some of them be allowed to expire early as well. We will keep an eye out on this severe thunderstorm warning that out west of our viewing area. This should pass, if things continue in the trend that they are, this should pass north of the Norfolk area. We would certainly prefer that, as they've certainly had enough to deal with tonight, and we would like to see this pass through. I know somebody over on Facebook just asked about Council Bluffs. Yeah, Council Bluffs, the Omaha Metro. We don't expect any severe weather tonight. All of this is staying up in northeast Nebraska, and we don't expect it to make its way southeast. Can't rule out a shower, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but no severe weather in the metro area is expected through the overnight hours. Again, as we're approaching the 1 o'clock hour, we are standing by for an update from the Storm Prediction Center for your Tuesday. As we're curious to see if the models have been indicating whether or not we're going to see a similar setup to what we saw tonight, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, I guess I should say, which is now tonight. And while we're waiting here and just kind of running a loop of the radar here with the latest warnings, I'm just going to take a quick peek at some of the new models that have come in the last few hours. And I apologize, I can't pop these on the screen for you to show you what I'm looking at, but so looking at some of the model runs that the Storm Prediction Center is likely looking at as well, I'm hopeful that maybe we'll avoid a similar setup tomorrow night. I would like to see these storms perhaps stay a little bit further to the west for tomorrow. But you know, we don't really get to pick and choose, but that would be my preference, especially up in the northern part in northeastern Nebraska. They could really use the break after all of this. Undoubtedly, and hopefully that will be the case, that these storms will maybe give our area a break tomorrow, but we'll have to see. As looks like storms could fire off a little further to the west in Nebraska tomorrow. They could still make their way across the state into northeastern Nebraska, but that would be very late, and with any luck, maybe with such a late hour, we can avoid the severe weather. But certainly something we're going to have to watch out for, especially once again in the late night hours, especially the further north you are in Nebraska. On the eastern side of the state, something you'll have to keep an eye out for. And of course, the entire First Alert 6 weather team, starting with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord, will have updates beginning at 4:30 this morning, as well as throughout the morning and into the afternoon hours. So we'll get that new severe weather outlook when it comes in. We'll take a little look at that, but I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe things will get going a little bit earlier and a little bit further west. And we won't have to worry as much about the severe weather threat tomorrow as we did tonight. National Weather Service says likely getting a large hail with the storm in Knox County, but not getting any reports of that. So let's take a look at what they're looking at here. And seeing some decent hail course even in the cell out west, but certainly nothing like what we saw earlier tonight. Just zoom back out here. And again, we're still seeing a northern trend. I think right now the bigger concern out in that area, although there still could be some large hail out in that area of in the Logan, west of the Meadow Grove area. I think another concern, especially along this line, is we could see some additional flash flooding in that area. Something to keep an eye out for, especially as we move. If you happen to be traveling in the early morning hours, we'll have to watch out for that as well. But that severe thunderstorm warning does continue out in that area. Let me see if I can get that up in here. Antelope County remains under a severe thunderstorm warning until 1:15 this morning for the potential of some large hail. I believe our considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been downgraded for portions of Wayne, Thurston, and Cumming counties. Severe thunderstorm warning for Dakota and Dixon is also a general severe thunderstorm warning that is set to expire at 1:30. So hopefully we're seeing a bit of a weakening trend. If there is a hail core, it is going to be passing close to the Emerson and Springbank areas, Highway 14, Highway 35, if my eyes aren't deceiving me. They're getting a little glossy at this hour, but this is beginning to exit our area, thank goodness, and hopefully that will be that for the evening, as we are now crossing into the 1 o'clock hour here in Nebraska. As it is now 1 o'clock here in Omaha, Nick Weig with you, First Alert 6 at the Alert Center, as we continue to monitor these severe thunderstorm warnings in the northern part of our viewing area, as well as in northeast Nebraska. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning west of Norfolk right now. Hopefully that will continue its trend to the north, and people in Norfolk will hopefully get a bit of a quieter night. All right, just in from the National Weather Service, seeing somewhat of a weakening trend with the storms in eastern Wayne into Thurston and far northern Cumming counties. Only seeing some weather stations reporting gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour. Likely may see some hail up to quarter size with those storms, so becoming less concerned with the wind threat, as you can see that outflow boundary kind of stretching from Columbus and then arcing up towards the storms. That's getting out ahead of those storms, and so that's reducing the wind threat, fortunately. But still enough turbulence aloft that these storms are producing some hailstones and have still the potential of producing some 1-inch diameter hail. We're still seeing that in the storms out west, but hopefully those will continue the trend to the north. And we will be able to wrap things up here in the not too distant future as things begin to quiet down in the northern part of our viewing area. We are now getting, unfortunately, some updated numbers. Just a few dozen without power in Wayne County. Madison County, Nebraska, unfortunately, though, reporting about 1,000 people without power, or about 10% of the county now are reportedly without power in Madison County after these storms barreled through, producing that very strong wind gusts and large hail. So again, about 1,000 customers without power now in Madison County. A handful of outages now being reported in Wayne and Dixon counties, but the main outages now are being reported in Madison County in relation to the severe thunderstorms this evening. Okay, it looks like we have an update from the Storm Prediction Center, and it is cautiously optimistic as I had hoped. I don't know if I have that ready to go in my lineup. I don't believe I do. Right now, for areas west and north of the Omaha metro area for late tomorrow night, Just a marginal or Category 1 risk for some severe thunderstorms. The primary threat for severe weather will be well to the west in southwestern Nebraska, western Kansas. That is the area of concern for severe weather. We could still see some strong to severe thunderstorms move through part of the First Alert 6 area again late tomorrow night into the morning hours. But we will have to wait and see. For now, though, just a marginal or Category 1 risk for more severe thunderstorms late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. So hopefully some good news there, and hopefully we can get a break. But as long as this heat dome continues across the central U.S., we could see this pattern repeat in the general area for several days, and carry the potential of producing some strong to severe thunderstorms over parts of Nebraska. Okay, we're going to take a closer look at this. Seeing still the potential of some 1-inch diameter hail in the Emerson area right now. Winds have really eased off now, maybe some gusts in the Allen area, but those look pretty weak at this time. And as we put this into motion, we're seeing that weakening trend that the Weather Service has been talking about, seeing very little of the purple and magenta colors that we were seeing earlier this evening. It looks like the cell is kind of split off a little bit here, and so it's kind of losing its access to the energy feeding these storms, and so that weakening trend likely going to continue as our last remaining severe thunderstorm warning in our area is the severe thunderstorm warning for Cumming, Wayne, and Thurston County. This remains in effect until 1:30. I would not be surprised if that warning is canceled early, as the storm has weakened considerably, and much of it is remained north of that area. We've also been keeping an eye on this severe thunderstorm warning out in Antelope County, in effect until 1:15 this morning. Still seeing some occasional pulsing in those thunderstorms capable of producing some large hail. But the overall complex is trying to drift its way further to the north, and hopefully it will continue that trend of general weakening that we're seeing in the other storms in this complex as things are continuing to move out of our areas. As you can see, the Severe Thunderstorm Watch has been scaled back pretty considerably now. This watch is technically in effect until 4 o'clock. However, I suspect that this will continue to get kind of culled off here in Nebraska as these storms continue to push off to the northeast. So that is a look at the latest that we have for you right now as we're continuing to track these severe thunderstorms now pushing out of our area and hopefully staying out of our area for the rest of your morning hours, so everyone can get some rest and we can prepare for what may come tomorrow. So there you see an update on our considerable severe thunderstorm warning north of our area for Dakota and Dixon counties. Still the threat of some 70-mile-per-hour winds as that portion of the storm continues to race off to the northeast. So as the threat continues to ease off here for our viewing area, we're going to take a quick break here. I'm going to go ahead and leave the radar up for you with some music, and if any new warnings pop up, we'll pop back in with an update, but I suspect that warning in our area here is going to be allowed to expire early as that pushes out of the area, and then we will see what the Weather Service decides to do with the storms out west. We could see a new warning north of the Norfolk area for some large hail, but don't see any updates on what they may do with that, though, although the Weather Service does acknowledge we are seeing a general weakening trend in these storms, and we would like to see that continue. So we'll be back here in just a moment with an update, but for now, we will leave the radar up for you to keep an eye on. You are watching extended severe weather coverage from First Alert 6 in Omaha. And good morning once again. Nick Weig here with you. Just wanted to pass along that we did just get an update from the National Weather Service in Omaha that the strong wind potential has decreased significantly over Thurston and Cumming counties. As a result, they have allowed that warning to expire. So although you see that warning box, that southernmost warning box there, they have now canceled that severe thunderstorm warning, so that box should disappear here. That was the last warning in our viewing area. As you see, the considerable severe thunderstorm warning and the storm associated with that severe thunderstorm has now pushed off into the Sioux City area, well outside of our viewing area. And so there are no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the First Alert 6 viewing area, and we do not expect any more severe thunderstorm warnings, as the remaining counties in our area under the Severe Thunderstorm Watch will likely see that expire relatively shortly, as the National Weather Service has said that the one remaining severe thunderstorm warning in effect for our area has been canceled. It is still showing up here on the radar, but again, this warning in the middle of your screen for Thurston and Cumming counties has been canceled. As you can see, the severe thunderstorm has moved well outside of the warned area. So that is I think going to wrap up our coverage for the night and the morning. We will certainly be back with you if conditions warrant late tomorrow night, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed that perhaps that won't happen this time, as we could certainly use a little bit of a break. But again, showers and thunderstorms, these late night showers and thunderstorms is a potential that is going to be with us for the week as we deal with the warm and humid conditions here in Nebraska and western Iowa. And of course, we will be with you throughout all of it if the conditions warrant. But for right now, that does it for our coverage for this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, make sure you like this video on our YouTube page, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that bell icon for notifications on when we do go live for breaking news, severe weather, or any other live coverage we have here at First Alert 6. But until next time, I want to thank everyone again for joining us. From the Alert Center, I'm Nick Weig, First Alert 6 in Omaha.